Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's gotta do it. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
And I am Officer Grant.
Grant, so good to see you once again in the flesh, outside of the cyber realm.
Oh, sorry, that was, I'm trying to relearn the English language.
Yeah, it's like people who like go to live in China abroad for a while and they come back and they're if they kind of forget.
Yeah, what do they sound like?
I don't know. You know.
Okay,
They would just forget how to use typical
English. Yeah,
colloquialisms, dialogue, and everything. And that's right. I feel like you, Grant, because we spent last week in the metaverse
pulling our hair out because it was terrible. You can go on YouTube and check that out. We did a whole show, the first podcast ever with in the metaverse with our friends over at the Loudest Podcast.
Apologies in advance.
There were some technical difficulties, but I think we pulled it all together, and so it's there for anyone that wants to watch it or experience it or listen to it. And if not, this is a new episode, so you can just not do that too.
I think the pictures, all the pictures of the monkeys on the wall, I think that's what crashed my audio driver.
Maybe, yeah.
So if you're listening and saying, where is all of Kevin's snappy comebacks and one-liners, that's what happened. And,
a couple got edited out, but we're here. This is a new episode.
A fresh start.
In
the flesh.
Anus tart.
What the fuck?
Anus tart.
Is that like a
new start?
You were on one today.
Folks, have you heard of Arrested Development?
I got it, man. Don't worry. That's a season 4 reference.
Thank you.
And coming in just in time.
I forgot that it was, yeah.
We have a brand new guest to the show, Cybershell. How are you, Cybershell?
What's up, gamers and gamettes of the universe? I'm out here. I'm just here to spread my knowledge of the internet and my lore and all this weird stuff. I just love talking about all this weird stuff, and I'll happily come on this podcast and talk to you guys about it.
And that's why I thought you'd be such a great fit for the show. You've got a lot of great videos on a lot of very specific niche topics about internet history, internet culture, things that have happened on the internet, which is, of course, our specialty. So you did, a couple of my favorite videos was the Operation Soda Steal video, which I believe that started from a Something Awful forum post. Am I correct?
It was actually a GameFAQs Splinter site. The forum itself isn't even really that important because it's like, this is an ancient tale of web history or whatever. But yeah, that video seemed to resonate with a lot of people. I don't want to be too cynical about this, but I will say a huge percentage of a video's like success is going to come down to having a really good thumbnail. And I just knew that entire time. I was like, I'm going to have that stupid fucking MS Paint picture as a thumbnail.
Yeah.
People are going to click on that because it's just such a fucking stupid, evocative image of that guy stealing the soda, whistling. Just the progression of that ridiculous concept MS Paint image to the reality of it. I just loved that progression, And it's just like something like everything about that story. I just sort of knew that was like a good story because it's very like low. It's like wholesome in a weird way, even though it's about stealing. Right. I was worried that was gonna like get me in trouble, just like because it's
naughty.
YouTube has rules like you're not allowed to promote stealing and be like, this is how to steal things. You know what I mean? So it's like
we're taking Baja Blast back from the billionaires.
Exactly. I was like, it's such a ridiculous, as people pointed out in the video, why it's not an efficient way. You're just putting way more effort and work into than stealing it.
That's what's so much fun about it. It's just like such a fun, stupid idea. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you make that thumbnail or was that from elsewhere?
No, that was the original guy drew that picture, and then I was just like, I've always had that in my head, and it lives in my mind rent free. Like every time I see a Taco Bell, I'm just like, damn, I want to go steal some Baja Blast from that fucking place.
Literally just today, I saw a parody of that image where it was Finn from Adventure Time.
Yes,
stealing the soda.
I think someone posted that in the or was that on Twitter?
I saw it somewhere. On
whatever. Yeah,
it was on my phone.
I saw it on my Twitter timeline, and I happily retweeted it. I will always retweet Soda Steel fan art, and I've seen quite a bit of it. I've seen quite a few renditions of it. I'm very happy. It's like a good sort of exploitable. I don't know if it's a meme image, but just like a good like pose to draw a character in.
Right. It's perfect. And I remember like when I was like watching your video, like I clicked it to like refresh, and I saw the image, and I was like, have I seen your video before, or is that image just like imprinted in my brain?
It's history.
You know,
the funny thing is, that actual image, that like specific MS Paint drawing has like, it did escape and circulate around on the web as just like a funny image that you could find in a few places. So it's not even entirely impossible that you would have seen that before. I just wanted to like document the story, because it's just this crazy little thing that happened, and only a couple hundred people like tops knew about it, because this was just on this like private little forum that like nobody, it's like a rinky-dink thing. Like forums are basically just not even existent anymore at all, but even back then this was a tiny little forum. Yeah, that's a whole thing I could spend ages talking about. It's just the way the forums have gone by the wayside, and like, you know, internet culture has been sort of compressed into like, it's so weird because there's technically more people on the internet than ever, but the internet still feels like smaller than ever because we're only on like 5 different websites nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah. It feels diluted, you know. It's I don't know. I get depressed thinking about it. I feel like that meme of the guy that's like sitting at his computer sad, and then he's like remembering being at his computer in 2007, and he's like happy.
I was just thinking about that image
he's
like
sad
yesterday.
in his memory.
That's a great. I know exactly the image you're talking about. It's funny because like you can update that every few years to just be remembering what it was like 5 years ago, even, and be like, damn, I can't. Even that is like, I can't even imagine that I would have been nostalgic for 2016. But even then, you look back and like YouTube, just the whole landscape of the culture. Yeah. Like it doesn't even feel. It wasn't even that long ago, but like it feels like a million years ago nowadays.
It does. I mean, yeah, it really does.
Even just like pre-pandemic is like a whole other world. It's just like the internet during and after the pandemic, and then before is just like a huge world of difference.
It is seriously fucked with my sense of time, because it like it both feels like 2020, like it was just it feels like it just happened, you know what I mean? Like it feels like we're still, but at the same time, it also feels like it's been an eon since then, you know what I mean? Like I can barely even remember that shit. But I mean,
Cybershell, I will say though that your channel has got, you know, it's one of the silver linings of the pandemic. One of the things that I discovered during the pandemic was your channel, and I can't remember if it was the Soda Steel video that I saw first, or if it was the Final Fantasy VII Race to Level 99 video, which if listeners may recall, I gave that out as a key to the city. And our illustrious, the highest award we could offer on the show, our key to Neo Chicago.
Still waiting to get that key in the mail. I haven't seen it yet.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are sharing it, so you maybe have to wait your turn.
You have to pass it around. You have to keep sending it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like the Olympic torch. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's so funny. I just have had a weird channel. I'll give a super condensed summary if anyone hasn't heard of me or whatever. But like way back in 2007, 2008, I was posting Sonic the Hedgehog Let's Play videos there. But it wasn't even like I was posting them to YouTube and trying to like gain an audience on YouTube. I was posting the videos like to Something Awful. We had our own little Let's Play sub forum that was like its own little insular community and stuff. And we didn't even like YouTube. YouTube fucking sucked back then. It had like this 10-minute time limit and all this other bullshit. You couldn't even do HD videos. So we were like, oh,
I forgot about that.
You know, Vimeo is better. All these other sites are better. But I can't even listen. There's sites that don't even exist anymore that we were uploading videos on. But even then we knew like we should use YouTube as the backup. It's the perfect backup because it'll be around forever. Even back then we knew it was gonna be around forever. So yeah, I was just dumping videos on there. And I eventually got a little bit of a following from doing those Sonic Let's Play videos. And there was just this one little thing at the end where I did a bonus video for Sonic 1 where I just showed off all these like dumb things I couldn't show off during the course of the LP. And during the Sonic 2 Let's Play, I promised I was going to do a bonus video, and then I just didn't get around to doing it. And like just over the years, like it was like for over the course of the next 8 years, occasionally I would just get comments like, "Hey, when's that Sonic 2 bonus video? When's that Sonic 2 bonus video?" Like, and so like I sort of made it. I was sort of playing it up for comedy, of course, but like I mean, I got a lot of comments like that over 8 years, so I just sort of compiled all of them, and then I did a little montage, and then I just thought it would be funny to come back after 8 years to make that video that I promised after all that time. I guess I was sort of inspired by like Lasagna Cat. They came back after 9 years of dormancy or whatever, and just made me realize like, damn, like even if you haven't made a video on your channel in a long time, you can just do it, whenever you want. You just sort of
I was looking at your upload dates, and I did see that there was significant gaps between. But
there are There were I was uploading like random gameplay bullshit, like Metal Gear Solid 5 came out and I uploaded some random gameplay clips, and like Dark Souls 3 would come out, and like, but I wasn't like, it was mostly just like a dumping ground. I never thought of it as like, oh, my channel, I need to take care of my channel or whatever. So then I did the Sonic 2 bonus video, and a lot of people liked it. It wasn't like it didn't go viral exactly, but like I got way more of a positive response than I was expecting. So I was like, well, I had some other stuff.
Would you say that your channel is like mostly focused around Sonic the Hedgehog related content? Because obviously your avatar is which you have a whole video about that. I mean, people can go watch it if they're really if they're looking at the video right now, which you can do so at youtube.com/thoughtcops. You'll see Cybershell's little character on screen here with us. Maybe right here, maybe up here,
somewhere, maybe on the table,
wherever Zwick wants to put it when he edits the show. But that there's a whole lore behind that, and. But your Sonic videos are awesome too. Like I think like one of the first videos I also saw from you is my brother kept sending me this video of yours, was the obscure Sonic 2 sprite. He kept like I'm like okay, I'll watch it, and I was like, you took something so banal and made it so interesting and fun.
It's like so insignificant that it's like even other Sonic dorks don't even know about that kind of crap most of the time. Right. But yeah,
did you see that one, Grant?
I think you showed it to me. I don't really remember it, but
there's like that like split second like frame of like the unique animation where like there's Sonic like where he's at the edge of the ledge.
Yeah.
And then he's a little further. And then I think there was like a third one where it's like you have to be like so close to that last pixel on the edge. Otherwise, you'll never see it in the entire game. And it's just one of those
There's like a one-frame turnaround sprite. It's just such a like 99.9% of players will just never even be in the situation that will like trigger that. And even if you did trigger it, you wouldn't even notice it. But yeah, going back to what you said, like my channel just started off with like Sonic Let's Play bullshit. And then I was making these sort of like Sonic trivia type videos. They weren't all like necessarily, they started off a little more similar, like, oh, here's a game and here's a trivia. Here's like the cutting room floor type stuff. Here's the cut content. Here's just secrets and all this other nonsense. And then I was able to broach more like other like related subjects, like the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book. I had a whole video about that.
Yeah. And there's so much like Sonic media out there.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing I was going to say, like, eventually I was lucky enough to be able to sort of make some non-Sonic related videos, and they actually did really well. Like, I wasn't even expecting that. I was just happy to make them as for like a change, because like I like Sonic stuff. I don't mind making Sonic related content. If my non-Sonic content flopped and I was like stuck only being able to make Sonic content, like here's the thing, Sonic is a very it's a very like large, wide franchise. Like there's so many little things and weird oddities to examine. Like there's all the games, first of all, which is like 30 years worth of games. And then there's like multiple like comic series and multiple TV shows, and now there's multiple going to be movies and stuff. Like it's just a big media franchise, and it's a very strange one, I have to say. I don't think that's a hot take. I think plenty of people know there's like this weird undercurrent of just weirdness to Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a divisive series. I want to say it's like super controversial, but people are strongly opinionated about it. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of divisive, you versus Tamers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, who do you think is the more quintessential heir to the throne of the Sonic fandom?
He could destroy me. Let's just leave it like that. He would crush me to death instantly, like Bartleby, just punching you through a wall in one flick.
Cybershell, I would actually disagree, because I think that, while obviously Tamers is a very, very passionate fan, I don't think he gives a fuck.
Guy.
I don't think he gives a fuck about anything outside of that one specific spin-off cartoon.
That's the best.
It's so fucking funny to me, dude.
Culmination of.
He thinks it's the best thing on planet fucking Earth, but like he doesn't. And I've watched numerous videos from Tamers, and I have never
hundreds of hours worth.
I've done my homework.
Many a party at 2 a.m. have you turned on a Tamers video?
Oh God, I am so sorry.
I love that because I love Tamers too, but I know it's like it's just a step too far for some people. It's like the weirdness factor. It's really up there. It's funny because I actually have a whole video I made about Tamers, but it's one of my only patron exclusive videos. And it's only because I didn't want to blow up Tamers. I didn't want to send 100,000 people to go harass them on their channel or whatever. You know what I mean? Just like, it's like, I just want to keep it kind of on the down low. I don't want to, because it's such a treasure, right? It's such a treasure of the internet that you can go find this person who's just like, has this dedicated artistic vision. It's like, it's such a weird, specific kind of thing that you can see on YouTube that you would never be able to see like anywhere else, any other time in history. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's like, it's like this weird kind of outsider art. And like, again, whatever, I don't know what it is about Sonic the Hedgehog that like brings these people out of the woodwork. But again, you have another amazing video about Tails Gets Trolled, which I actually I bought the physical paperback edition of that recently.
Very nice.
And like I remember reading this years and years ago.
I think you sent me that video, right? Because I'm pretty sure I saw the Tails Got Trolled.
I might have.
I'm pretty sure.
But I'm like flipping through the pages of this book, and it is so much more disturbing and visceral, like seeing it like in physical form.
It's
like
so weird, right? Seeing the physical, like I have it too, and it's just like first of all, I just love the whole whatever MS Paint aesthetic. Like it's shitty, but like I love it. I don't even know how to explain it. It's raw. It feels more real and stuff. Like I'm not gonna I have a whole thing in my video where I'm like I can't really explain this as objectively good art, but it somehow kind of is. Like it just sort of weirdly.
It has a weird charm. Like
there's
the simplicity. It's like again, it's like these sort of like Tommy Wiseau types where they're just they're not adhering to any strict rules or anything, but they love the thing that they make and the thing that it's around, and it's not like anything else. You can't you cannot replicate this kind of thing,
right? It's a unique artistic voice and vision that's just like people. It's just Tamers is so crazy. It's like it's seriously on that line where it's just like the more you watch, your instant reaction is probably like, oh, this is just some like Sonic like dork, like there's a million of them. And then you watch a bunch more like, oh, this has to be someone doing it on purpose, like putting on like an act. And then you watch more, and it's like, it's been going on for like 10 years. What is this, like a 10-year long act? What the hell is going on?
That's what I was going to ask you if you think it's a bit or if you think that it's like genuine, because I personally, I flip-flop here and there, but I do personally believe that it is genuine. Again, purely for the fact that he has put in years and years of this, and there are so many of these videos.
Imagine, yeah, exactly. Imagine like just running this as like a long con. Like I can't imagine Tamers like doesn't care or feel anything about Sonic Underground. Even if I think the most likely example is it is like legit, but like there is some degree of self-awareness. Like some of these people have like. It's just so hard for people to wrap their minds around. Someone can be a weirdo cringelord, but also have a sense of self-awareness and some humor about it. Like, I don't know. There's just clearly times where I can tell, using my keen sense of intuition, that I know Tamers is like putting on a little bit of an act. You know what I mean? Like being extra silly on purpose. But
I hope so, because if not, I feel pretty guilty.
There are times where I do think he's like adding a little bit of extra flavor to it because he knows it's silly. But I do think his love. And
you just can't make all those cartoons for like just no reason. Like, it's like
you can't fake that kind of thing.
It's such a Tamers has no guarantee that these videos would even have found an audience. Like, it's kind of a miracle that they have. You know what I mean? So
you know what I would say? I think that Grant, you and I are somewhat responsible for this because we turned Justin Wang.
Yeah, I remember him
Tamers.
making that comment because I remember asking him, like, Justin, have you heard of Tamers? And he was like, yeah, actually, I think I heard it from you guys.
Yeah. And then I think he brought a lot of spotlight to Tamers in like one of his streams or videos.
That's funny that you mentioned that because I have specifically noticed that Justin Wang is one of the only like big like YouTubers, Twitter people that I will see occasionally be posting Tamers memes. And he is the only person I know that has a playthrough on YouTube of Tamers RPG Maker game. So yeah. If you guys are the ones that actually gave him, like, tipped him off to that, that's hilarious because, I knew he was a fan of that. That's funny.
One of the episodes he was on.
Yeah, I think that was just, like, in passing, too, and he just, like, checked it out, like, and it's, like, hilarious
If you couldn't already tell, like, if I'll take any chance I get to talk to somebody who knows about Tamers, like, it's just, like, one of those things where it's, like, I have to share this information with somebody who knows.
Right. It's one of my favorite, like, treasures of the internet, but it's, like, it's just... a lot to like just show someone who's not very online and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like, I love it. It's just hard to, you have to like pick the right episodes and stuff to get them into, like, because it's so funny. But like, there's the weirdest thing about Tamers is it's like there's all this weird inter-episode lore that he builds upon, and like there's like running stories that have like gone on in the background that have lasted like years, and there's like all these weird sagas and stuff. Like, it's so funny. I don't know why it has to be so intricate and in depth for these silly videos.
It's like I said, just because he truly honestly loves.
He's an auteur.
Sonic Underground. Yes, he's a Sonic Underground auteur.
I just love that kind of thing on the internet. That there's probably a million Tamerses out there. You know, like ones that have like zero audience whatsoever. They're just making these little crazy fictional worlds in their minds, and you know, having all these crazy characters and stuff. I don't know. It just makes me interested.
Do you ever worry, like, you know, like I said, obviously Sonic the Hedgehog brings out a lot of these, like, you know, Laserbot or Tamers types of people. You center a lot of, you know, not the majority entirely of your content, but you do a lot of like Sonic videos and Sonic content. Do you worry that sometimes you will be lumped in with that kind of crowd, like that kind of Sonic fan?
Frankly, I would consider it an honor to be lumped in with Tamers and Laserbot. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely know that there's people who are like just completely dismissive of me. Oh, he's just some Sonic guy. And you know, there's definitely some Sonic-ass videos on my channel that if you're not a Sonic fan, you're not going to get as much out of. But I always try to, like you said, with that stupid Sprite video, like I try to make them mostly comprehensible to people who aren't even interested in Sonic the Hedgehog. Like again,
and I would definitely agree. I would definitely agree. And I mean, like I myself, I haven't played a new Sonic game in quite a while besides Sonic Mania. And even that was at this point years ago.
Right.
But in watching your videos, it sort of reignited my love for Sonic. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I started to like, I was like thinking about Sonic more. I wanted to play the games more. I wanted to I'm like, I want to stream the Sonic Adventure games so bad. I have everything in my apartment to do it. It's one of those things where I just got to sit down and like set it all up again, because it's like on my GameCube. I got to hook it up.
Totally, dude. I love hearing that. I've heard that from people before, and it's just like, yeah, you know, I'm happy to get people interested in it, because I always thought that, like, you know, you can have any opinion you want. It's like somebody coming to say Sonic fucking sucks. I'm like, you know, imagine if I was like, you can't get mad at that kind of shit. You know what I mean? It's like, people just have their own opinions or whatever. But I always love to just get people to think about Sonic, and like, because like I just think there's something like objectively good and cool about his character design. Like, there's something timeless about it. There's something just at the core of Sonic, even though there's like, you can always argue he's like, oh, he's just this weird corporate design by committee response to Mario.
I wouldn't say that.
But he's like, I don't know, he's also emblematic of like this 90s edgy attitude.
Yeah.
It's sort of
wasn't he kind of like based off Bill Clinton, like loosely?
Yeah, like the attitude of Bill Clinton, but he's sort of got like a Bart Simpson energy to him. I don't know. It's very strange.
That is,
it is.
Yeah,
very,
he's very much
like,
a sign 90s, of like it is. He will always be 90s to me, even when he's like updated. Like, you know, a lot of people associate him with like the early 2000s with that cool adventure era, but he'll always be a product of the 90s, no matter what happens. And like, you know what I mean? But I will always say that character design, just the blue with the spikes, like it immediately sort of conveys like the speed of it. You know, it's just a good character design, bro. You don't like Sonic.
What do they say about character designs? Like a good character design should be recognizable by its silhouette, and that
he definitely has Sonic. A strong silhouette.
Yeah. Now, my last Sonic related question I'll ask you before we move on to the bulk of the show here is: do you prefer classic Sonic or modern Sonic? At least, like, both in terms of his art style as well as the games. Like, so I'm talking like pre-adventure, post-adventure.
In my heart, I have to say, I am a classic Sonic guy. Sonic 2 was the first game I ever played, and I just love those classic Genesis titles. And those ones I like. I just think those are great games. Like, I know they're not everyone's cup of tea or whatever. I can have a whole nuanced debate about the merits of the game design or whatever the fuck, but I just think those are solid, great, fun games, and they hold up, and like I would really recommend those to anyone. And I love a lot of the later games. Like 3D Sonic, obviously, you know, I don't even need to say it. He's had a rough transition.
You know. Yeah.
But I love the adventure games, and there's plenty of other ones I love, like Generations too. So like it's not like, oh, I only like classic. Some people like have that weird perception of me that like he only likes classic and he hates modern and he hates American Sonic and all these other weird things. I pretty much like all the iterations of Sonic.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't get that. I don't get that vibe from you. You seem to just love Sonic, no matter what shape or form he takes.
It's such a weird, interesting series. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Super Eye Patch Wolf has an interesting video that I thought was like, it's not 100% perfect. As a Sonic nerd, there were a million little, like, I can nitpick this minute point, but like, he just have a good video that was like just about how the weird way we perceive Sonic, and like it's sort of like this post-ironic angle on the character now, you know what I mean? Like people see Sonic and it has all this baggage. It's not necessarily negative, just like, I don't know. He's a storied history. Yeah. Like some people see Sonic and they think Sonic 06, like the worst game of all time. And some people see him and they think of like, I don't know, maybe they just like their favorite game series of all time. I don't know.
Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog is the greatest video game franchise of all time.
Yeah, he does contextualize.
That is why you should watch Sonic the Hedgehog.
He contextualizes the whole thing very well, but I digress. Obviously, we got a lot to say about Sonic, and we can always come back to that at some point if we need to. But I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping notes of our own. Like I said earlier, if you're listening to the audio version of this episode, you can also watch it over at youtube.com/thoughtcops. If you are listening to the audio version, perhaps on Spotify, maybe?
Delete it, because we're standing strong with Neil Young. I'm just kidding. Neil Young is a millionaire, and I'm very poor. So go ahead,
Neil,
and
if I had the money, I'd be right there with you, man.
Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and a 5-star rating on iTunes, and we'll read the iTunes reviews when's left. And that's it. Give us some numbers, peeps.
That's right. It's that easy, folks.
Just think, 10 years from now, you guys can have a 9-figure Spotify deal, and then a bunch of other famous people can be pulling themselves off the platform because of shit you said, I don't know, in this interview.
Yeah, about Sonic. Hey, what do they say about Sonic Underground? It sucks.
What did they say about Tamers? What?
I guess in this scenario, Tamers is like a billionaire.
They called him what? An auteur? Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I think that's it for housekeeping.
Oh, yeah. Also, we've been doing some streaming lately. Twitch.tv/ThoughtCops.
Been streaming, been forgetting to stream. It's all in there. It's all happening.
Yeah. I'm the same way, where I like to stream, but I never can remember to do it on a regular basis. But it's really good to like diversify, and just be on different platforms and stuff. Especially like, I'm on YouTube, but like, I could just wake up tomorrow and my YouTube account could be fucking deleted, and I would have no human to contact about that. I would have to, I luckily have enough people on Twitter where I could probably bitch about it and get attention, but like, it's a nebulous, scary thing.
That seems to be the only way, yeah.
I understand. It's fucked. It's really fucked. The only way you can get help is by bitching and getting enough people to complain and raise like attention and a stink or whatever on Twitter publicly. Because I mean, I've seen people way bigger channels than me have to like yell and bitch and moan about not getting help. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't even know how like the really small guys get any help. They probably don't get any help when they have problems.
Exactly. They stay small because
we should just start complaining about everything all the time and just hope that like H3 retweets us or some stupid shit like that. Because that's always what happens. Like, can you believe this streamer said the word cracker and they got him taken off? Like, everybody retweet this, and it's like, great, thank you. I'm famous now. My name is Hassan Piker, and nobody's heard of me until now, and now I'm famous. I bought a house.
It is a weird thing where it's like, yes, like a lot of times the only way people blow up in these like today's modern society is when they have like some bullshit takedown, and then everyone amplifies them to get it resolved or whatever. Which is just, I don't know. I don't even know how people want to like, I get sometimes people ask me like, oh, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Do you have any advice? I'm like, no. I mean, I started my channel back in 2007. What the fuck? I don't know how to start a channel in 2022. How the fuck? I don't know. That sounds
totally
impossible.
Different.
I mean, I've been trying to force a rivalry between us and Brett Weinstein's podcast because Ken Bone said that he's boring, and I was like, "This is great, let's run with this." And it hasn't taken off yet.
I like the idea, though. You got to get a rivalry. You got to get some kind of beef going. You get people love the drama, That's
like the perfect enemy, because it's like, who gives a shit about like Brett Weinstein? It's like, who's gonna like defend? Like, no, his podcast isn't boring. Like, no one's gonna say that.
Exhilarating. Yeah, not quite.
Good stuff.
Speaking of exhilarating, though, let's get on to a very favorite, very famous segment of the show called 2 Minutes of Hate, where we like to blanket punish all that annoying random crap that we see on our computer screens and our phone screens, and sometimes if you're watching YouTube on your TV screen. My 2 minutes of hate this week. Now okay. Grant, I'm going to be honest. I did not listen back to the metaverse thing last week because it was so frustrating, and I was kind of at my wit's end with, is it going up? Is it not going up? What are we doing here? Whatever. And then it kept changing. And by the time it was on the internet, I'm like, you know what? It's already on the internet. I'm not going to listen to it. Normally, I do listen back to the show, but
whatever. It's
was
fine.
my 2 minutes of hate in that episode?
Yeah,
it was.
Yes.
So that did not get cut.
Oh, did it get...
I don't know. I'm asking because if it did, I want to redo it.
I think not all the way to it.
Yeah, well,
I listened to most of it to do like the quality assurance portion to be like, yeah, this is passable. I don't remember if it was
okay.
Or not.
Well, I'm going to read.
It doesn't matter.
I'm going to redo it now because
it's even funnier the second time because now it just feels like you're being even more petty, which is hilarious.
And it's going to lead into something at the end of the episode. So there will be a surprise at the end that we didn't have last time to reference to. So without further ado,
I'm down for this.
Yeah, without further ado, my 2 minutes of hate this week is tweet perfectionism. Now, as I said that you may or may not have heard last time, obviously Twitter does not have an edit button. And, so much of what makes things funny is the way that they are specifically shared or said. And there is a very, pacing is so crucial, obviously.
Right. You only have so many characters.
We're doing very important work out here. And like I said, there's no edit button on Twitter, so I don't think I'm the only one who's guilty of this. But sometimes, for example, if you misspell something, I don't know, Grant, do you ever do this when you misspell a tweet or word it wrong? Do you ever delete it and then put it up really quick?
Usually I'll just delete it and then it's just like, fuck it, it doesn't matter. Forever. I don't care, whatever.
Cybershell, how about you?
Stupid, yeah.
I hate when I fucking tweet something and it starts like getting a lot of retweets and then I look at it and there's either like a typo or like I just completely forgot to put in a word, so it's like I don't even know. It's even more embarrassing. Yeah, I don't know. I hate that. I hate it. Especially I have deleted tweets before because of some stupid shit like that. But I don't know. I sort of agree with you that it's like, it's kind of whatever. It doesn't even really matter.
And like, I'm not even saying there should be an edit button. However, it's one of those things where it's sometimes like for me, my OCD comes out in full force when I really want to make something. I can be a perfectionist sometimes for the most useless things imaginable, including tweeting.
I feel like I waste so much time on things that nobody's ever going to see.
Yeah,
I don't mind it so much when I just like shit out a tweet, just like some verbal diarrhea. Like a thought pops in my head and I immediately just slam it out and type it and tweet it. But sometimes I'll like have a joke that I think is kind of funny and I'll like spend like 10 or 20 minutes just thinking the right way to word it so I can like fit properly.
Oh yeah,
and then I'll tweet it out.
Drive yourself
and then
crazy
I realize I fucked
way.
up. I'm just like, God damn it.
So I had a similar thing happen last week. I put up something on Twitter. It was a screenshot of the critically acclaimed hit cult classic cartoon called Mission Hill.
Oh, great show.
Do you ever remember that one, Cybershell and Adult Swim?
Yeah, it's a great one.
Maybe it was on UPN before that or something like that.
Yeah,
and yes, it is a great show. Asterios, if you're listening, it's a great show.
He is listening. I know.
Gami, the expansion pack.
Oh yeah, how am I supposed to play it without the base game? Relatable even today.
It's a classic gamer
if you watched my movie, no,
oh god,
same
yeah,
voice.
I'm always falling into like a David Lynch impression on accident. But I took a screenshot of this scene from Mission Hill where Andy goes to a goth party and he runs into this guy there who calls himself the Republican Vampire. It's this like gothic guy. He's got the hat, the long black hair, and he's like talking about the GOP and Rush Limbaugh. And I took a screenshot of it and I just captioned it with Ariel Pink. You know, Ariel Pink, famous musician, was at the January 6th insurrection. And I put it up for about...
It's not a great joke, but it's a good joke.
Well, thank you for the honest, constructive criticism.
It's like I would look at that and I'd be like, yeah, that's a tweet.
And I will agree with you. It was not great until I made it great. Because when I put it up, it was just the image.
Right.
However, I thought to my head, I'm sitting on the toilet, my mind is wandering, and I'm thinking to myself, it would be funnier, the joke would click more if I could take the video from that segment.
Right.
And I could just post like a Twitter embedded video of it.
Right.
And so people could hear what he's saying, and it would be even funnier. It'd be way, way better.
Right.
So stupid me, I went onto Twitter and I already had like 8 likes on there, that's a lot for me sometimes. And I was like, shit, do I delete it? And
that's
risk
the struggle, right? Like, do
I risk looking like a fucking freak? Or do I keep this? Or do I make, like, as the great Shigeru Miyamoto said, a late or a delayed game is only delayed for so long, and a bad game is bad forever.
He was definitely thinking about funny tweets when he said that.
Oh, he was, and like he probably would say the same thing today about my Mission Hill tweet. And I ended up, I deleted it against my better judgment, and I took a video capture of the YouTube video where it's the character, the Republican vampire, talking to Andy about the things I mentioned. Because
I got it up on the screen right now.
Yeah, we'll pull it up here. We'll take you guys are gonna flip your lids when you see this.
Should I play it?
Yeah, we'll play it here.
Let me just pull the playhead back here and...
Yeah, but my friends call me the Republican vampire. Are you GOP, Andy?
I'm not. I don't.
The Repubs are cool, man. Let me tell you my philosophy vis-a-vis our conservative friends.
And that's it. I just thought the joke would connect and click a little bit more had I had the video portion. So, of course, I was foolishly hoping that everybody who liked my original tweet would, throw a like on the video. Like, oh, hey, this is even better than before. And I put it up and it got like 2 likes. And I know that everybody who saw the original one saw me like repost this.
They saw you scramble.
They saw me. It was like an embarrassing display, like a public. I turned myself into a public fool. And then you brought it
up on the podcast, not once,
I know what
twice.
You mean. Twice. That is funny. No, I know what you mean in terms of like YouTube. Like sometimes you upload a video and there's like a mistake in it, or like just some audio glitch, and you like have to sheepishly take it down and upload it. And that literally like will really fuck with you in the algorithm, because like all the people who clicked on it the first time see it pop up in their sub feed again. They're not going to click on it again because, they already saw it. And then the algorithm's going to be like, oh, a bunch of your subs didn't click on this video. It must not be good. You know what I mean? So, like, I have that. I get very, paranoid when I upload a video. Like, I don't want to have to upload it twice. You know what I mean? Because that's just, and it's a very similar situation.
I'll commiserate a little further. I'm at times somewhat active on TikTok. And I'll upload a video. I haven't uploaded anything in 2 months or so.
Oh, okay.
But I'll upload a video and I'll just be like, it's hard trying to be funny on the internet, because I feel like sometimes when you try to be funny, it's either that you're trying to be as stupid as possible or as weird as possible, or just you're just being the worst part of yourself to elicit some sort of a response from people. And sometimes that's great, and sometimes people look at that and they're like, that's great, we want more of that. And then sometimes you see the little video ticker go by that 100, 200, 300, 400 people have seen this video and no one's liked it, and I'm just sitting here let me take this down, this is embarrassing, this is fucking weird, I feel like a lunatic, people are judging me, they think I'm a fucking freak. That kills me, man. And then I'm just like, man, I just don't want to have my face out there anymore.
I know some people also use third-party Twitter client apps that show the deleted tweets, they don't go away. So that was even worse for me to think about, that the people who have whatever that other Twitter app is would see the multiple public attempts at this stupid joke. It's if I put this kind of effort forth towards anything else in my life, Imagine how much happier and more successful I would be. But instead, I spent and I was at work too. Like they're probably like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
No, I know exactly what you mean. I've spent way too much time coding and crafting and thinking about making funny tweets, which it doesn't, you can't really monetize a good Twitter account unless you're like, I mean, you kind of need another like avenue there too. Like there's plenty of big Twitter accounts, I guess, but I mean, I don't even know. The only way to make money on Twitter is just like shilling those stupid like promoted posts, right? Which I don't want to do.
The
I
weird
just look at it
sex
as like
toy thing, or the weird light thing.
I'm already posting about the light below my 2 like posts. Like, hey, by the way,
just preemptively
check this out.
I know exactly. I just like make a funny tweet. If people follow me, it all sort of feeds back into itself. I try not to worry about exact engagement stuff too much, but I know what you guys mean for sure.
So I will say, my punishment for this, and this is a punishment on me as somebody who is the tweet perfectionist. I will. I'll quote the one of the greatest bands of all time.
You'll tweet them.
Crush 40, who once said the famous words, "Live and learn."
Exactly.
Live and learn. I learned from my mistake.
With a message.
Right. Yeah. I'm hanging on the edge of tomorrow. I learned from my mistake, and from now on, when this happens, I leave it up and I say, next time I'll do better.
Right. Sometimes you just have to, accept that people. Yes, this is very brave of you. You just have to accept that a tweet did not bang the way you thought it would, even though it was a good tweet. And that's the worst part. Like some of my dumbest, stupidest, laziest tweets are the ones that people are like, "Oh, this is great," and then some of the ones I'm like, "This is going to be the tweet of the year, dude." I will never forget the tweet that I ever made that had got the most likes. It's so weird. I posted all my stuff back in 2020. I came back, I posted a bunch of videos at the same time. And then literally my first tweet after that, I was like, okay, I can finally just go back to posting stupid tweets that nobody will ever care about. So I posted this one of like a weird thing you can notice with one of Sonic's like models. Like he sort of looks like he's wearing like a suit. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like a weird nitpick with one of his like random models from a tennis game. And like that tweet really went viral. I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but like it's just the stupidest shit. You can never predict the kind of things that people will really like latch onto and decide this is worth retweeting,
I think you struck gold with just the obscure Sonic content. Yeah. That's kind of what I learned here.
Yeah, it's a happy little niche, like I was sort of getting at earlier. I don't know if I even finished this thought or I just left it halfway formed. But yeah, like if I could only make Sonic content, I would still be happy, just because there's so much shit to talk about. Like it's just like sort of a never-ending well. And even if I somehow did, which I couldn't, but if I did somehow talk about all of it, there's still new Sonic shit. Like say what you want about Sonic, but he is a tenacious little bastard. He's still around. He's still in pop culture. He's like. He has periods where he's not as relevant, sure, but even after 30 years,
he's got to go fast. Everybody can relate.
He's such a simple concept, right? Going fast, like it's funny because it's on one hand, it's so simple. It's just such a simple, obviously fun. Like obviously, it's fun to go fast, right? But think about it now from the game making perspective. Like, how do you make a fun game where you can go fast in it? Like, it's a lot harder to do. You know what I mean? Levels are going to go by fast. You have to design more of them.
Yeah.
Sonic levels are very well. They're very interesting. I could again talk about them for ages, but in the classic Genesis game specifically, I'm referring to, they have these like multi-tiered level design. So it's not like Mario where it's just you point A to point B, and if you do it, you like see the whole content. You know what I mean? In Sonic, you could play through the whole game and then play it again, just reset and play it again and take like different paths through the levels. And it's almost a totally different experience. I mean, it's not totally different, but there's a lot of content to those games. They were very replayable. They were designed to be replayable because back in the 90s, I mean, you buy a game for full price and it only takes like an hour or two to beat. Like the implication is you will play it again if it was a fun game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you either have multiple routes or you make it
as hard as possible.
Yeah, unapologetically difficult.
You just sit there and play the same Mega Man level over and over and over again, and it's like, I keep falling off the fucking platform because the platform just falls, and I don't think it's gonna fall, but it falls, and then I don't know if I jump before it because then I don't land on the stage, but if I jump too late, it just drops me off into the abyss.
It's just interesting the way...
Go ahead, sorry.
It's just interesting the way that difficulty has changed over time, because it used to be games were brutally hard on purpose just to milk you of your quarters, and then they, But during the NES era, they were still incredibly difficult games, but mostly just to sort of stretch out the runtime. Whereas nowadays, a game, like people advocate, oh, this game is another open world 70-hour adventure. I'm like, I don't even want to fucking play it, dude. That's too much.
Yeah,
just give me a nice short single player game.
In any direction.
Yeah, I forgot what game it was, but I saw it was advertised as like taking 500 hours to complete. I can't imagine liking anything that much. And I'm not saying that like video games as a medium shouldn't continue to grow and thrive and everything like that. But like, you know, like, I mean,
that'd be really fucking good for 500 hours, dude. Like, imagine like a show had like 500-hour-long episodes. That's a big time commitment, you know?
Or it's like even certain games that have like that addictive appeal of like World of Warcraft or something like that, where you're always trying to level up your character. It's just like you
online games.
Yeah,
they're the
so
addictive ones. The endless treadmill of like League of Legends. A lot of guys are stuck on that.
That's true.
At some point, I get so bored of that type of shit, but
yeah, I don't know. It's I sort of avoid like even good-looking online multiplayer games now because I just don't need another huge time sink. Like exactly, like I just don't want to play an MMO. Like some people are like, oh, you got to play Final Fantasy 14 or whatever. It's so good. And I'm like, it looks good. I just don't want to play an MMO.
Yeah. Like I have enough like guilt about doing anything that's not productive as is. So to be like sucked into an MMO that's like asking for so much of my time and like in concentration, I'm like, man, I don't know.
I got off that train in high school when I stopped playing RuneScape. But anyway, let's
Cybershell. I'm sure you got some stuff to get off your chest. Anything bothering you want to share with us?
You know, I'm not a particularly hateful guy, but this week
it doesn't have to be hate. It could be a mildly annoyed.
I'm just making fun. But like this week, I saw there's a little bit of drama. I don't know if you guys have seen this, if you've heard about this. So there's a little bit of drama going on with people, reaction channels talking about reacting to content. People like, I don't know, Moist Critical Charlie was talking about this. Like, there's a little bit of people getting upset about like these streamers out there who will just, you know, sit down and then they'll stream for 8 hours, but all they do is like watch YouTube videos. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's interesting to me. I think it's like annoying, and I hate the lazy reaction channels. But like, you can't just lump all reaction channels in because there's good ones out there. There's people who are like experts on a subject matter and they only focus and provide insightful commentary. So it's so hard to know where to draw the line, right? But I think either way, no matter where you lie, you have to admit there are these lazy content leech channels out there that purely like suck up the views and attention from these original videos or whatever.
I feel like there's cycles for these types of things because I feel like this is the same shit people went nuts about this on YouTube a few years ago, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. People went nuts about this on YouTube. Now it specifically is like a Twitch thing. I'm specifically talking about these Twitch reaction like people. It's just interesting to me because I've had videos like reacted to on stream and I personally didn't mind or whatever, but there is like some people who they really don't care for that and they don't want their videos to be seen in front of a bunch of people without their consent. And it's like most of these people are not asking for permission. They're just doing it and then they'll get yelled at maybe.
Is the issue that they're not getting the view count? Like that they're showing my video on a Twitch stream and I'm not getting a, you know, little thumbs up for it?
Right. Yeah. So that's exactly the argument a lot of these Twitch streamers are making. Like, no. This is a mutually beneficial arrangement for us because I'm showing the content and people are seeing it and you're getting exposure. But like,
yeah, I'm driving them to your shit.
Exactly. The only thing is some people don't always link to the channel. Some people don't really do their due diligence in like shouting out the channels and including a good link. Some people really just like consume one video right onto the next one, right onto the next one. And some of these people watch like, you know, like Vine compilations and all this shit or whatever, you know, TikTok compilations, I guess is what people are watching nowadays.
I've found like one or two of my videos just like re-uploaded to YouTube.
Really?
Just, yeah, like really fucking weird. Like,
weird, right? Were you at least kind of honored by that? Like,
it's like I'm not going to be pissed off, and it didn't have that many views. But if it was like 2 million views, I'd be like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
I've only had a little bit of that with like re-uploads, and yeah, exactly. It's never been like a major problem for me, so I'm not even really personally speaking from like this is something that has been ruining my life. I've just seen the discourse around this lately, and I'm just like, this is interesting. This is interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you want some actual hatred for me, it's gonna piss off a lot of people in the audience. I'm fucking tired of seeing people's Wordles. Stop posting your Wordles. I don't fucking care what your goddamn Wordle is. Stop it. I played this for a week and I got bored of it, and people are still playing it. If you can play the game, I had to. Okay, here's my reason I'm molding about it. I muted Wordle on my fucking timeline, but I'm still seeing them. People, they're finding a way through my filters.
You gotta mute those emojis.
Yeah, that's exactly correct, dude. That's the first thing I'm gonna do after this fucking thing's over. But that's just as I don't really give a shit. If you want to play Wordle,
You don't have to worry about it for too long.
Okay, I don't know why. I have like a good vocabulary, but for some reason I'm fucking terrible at Wordle. So I'm just seething.
It's all about the diversity, the spread of the letters.
That's another thing, which I watched some fucking YouTube videos. Like, here's how you can game theory your way to win every time. Use these 5 words, and it has like you're almost guaranteed to like hit all the ones you need.
Shit.
Why? What do you get from this?
When I played Wordle, all I did was like my guesses were like penis, and then like some funny other shit, and then I would finally guess it right at the end. I don't know.
Did you?
Whatever.
It's
a cute little game. I don't really hate it that much, but I just got tired. It's just one of those oversaturation things where there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, totally.
I saw everyone on my timeline talking about it, and it was fine for a week, but then it's been more than a week, and I'm a very upset, impatient man. That's the only thing that's really bothering me lately. I guess that's if you wanted some real hatred out of me. But other than that, I was just mostly interested in a philosophical discussion of like these reaction content people, because I have like I don't know, I'm just ambivalent about it, because like I don't want to ban reaction content. And it's funny because like I spend a lot of time talking about Sonic stuff. I'm reacting to that media myself.
Right,
it's more in depth than just I don't know. It's just so weird to me because
you're more like you're giving a lecture. You're not reacting.
And there's like the whole like fair use thing too of like, hey, if you're showing short clips and you're providing commentary and stuff like that, there's a difference between that and just like you showing someone else's video and you just sitting in the corner like a jackass. Or like my favorite example of that. Correct. Is like people would like illegally stream pay-per-view UFC fights and they'd just be in the corner holding a controller, which is like
it's such a good
funniest
bit to get around
thing.
it.
Good graphics.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
So that's good, I would argue, but everything short of that is, not so.
That's hilarious. I'm also surprised it's taken this long for us to talk about Wordle on the show. Because I think like, it's one of those things where I don't think any of us hate it or even like are ambivalent to it that much, but it is just like
play it every day, but it's like
this is just one of those stupid things. In 1 year from now, someone's going to be listening to this episode and be like, what the fuck is Wordle? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
Well, the New York Times bought it and they're going to soon paywall it. So like nobody's going to be playing it anymore.
Next month, they're going to be like, what was Wordle? Remember Wordle?
Okay, yeah. You know what? I heard about that. Maybe I should just be patient because I guess as soon as that happens, everyone's going to stop playing.
Exactly.
All
Nobody's
good things in time.
for Wordle.
Fuck that.
We got Leo in the chat here. He says, "Preach, brother Cybershell. It looks like it looks like Tetris, but it isn't."
Yeah, that's what I first thought every time I was seeing this block. So I was like, "What the fuck?"
Cybershell, do you have a punishment for these reaction channels?
Oh yeah. Vat of acid. Just put them in a vat of acid. Dissolve them.
Classic.
Great.
Bones.
Then they might turn into a new superhero.
Maybe that's a little too much. Maybe that's a little
no, that's fine. That's appropriate.
Minecraft acid. Yeah, that's fine.
I will say if they want a funny Sonic related thing, I would say if you personally make a video that I personally don't like, you should have to play through all of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
Damn. Now, God, I one of these days I want to play that. And like I know I'm gonna probably
I finally got
hate
around to it. It seems like I should have played it forever ago, right? Because I'm the Sonic guy. But I just I don't know. I just knew it was a bad game and I didn't want to play it, so I didn't play it. You know what I mean? I had seen you can find a trillion YouTube videos of people talking about it and playing through it. So it's like I didn't need to play it, but I finally did. I sat down and I played it, and it's weird. There's some things about that game that are like shitty and bad that you have to play it for yourself to understand how weird and like the slowdown and the lag. It's unbearable to like play.
I feel like that, like what you're describing, I feel like that towards Superman 64.
Oh, it's another classic.
I've never played it and I don't want to play it, but part of me is like, I need it in my hands like once. I just need it.
It is legendary.
Because I've seen videos of people playing it.
The Rings.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
The Rings.
It looks bad, but it's just like, I know that the difference between watching someone play it and actually trying to do it are two separate things. And it's like, I feel like I need to do that.
And that's why, like, one time I was at my cousin's house and it was after I'd seen those videos.
Yeah.
And he had the cartridge for Superman 64. And I'm like, I'm playing it. I got to try it out. And yes, it sucked. It's bad.
I know what you mean. The fascination with trying it out yourself. You really have to, like, there's some games.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like with any game, you have to feel it to believe it. You know, like a trailer doesn't do it justice, you know, for anything really. It could be a good game, could be a bad game. You just got to get your hands on it. But speaking of getting your hands on something, games,
right? Like, because a movie, you can watch a movie. If you watch a movie, you watch the movie. But a game, you can just have people can have just such different experiences. It's such a weird medium. I don't know.
You've got to fight through it. You know.
Yeah, you got to fight through the Sonic 06.
There's something content. There's something about shitty games, like playing through them, like. I'm not saying shitty games are good because that doesn't make any fucking sense, but like there's something weirdly satisfying about like beating a shitty game. Like you beat the game, you overcame the challenge of the shitty game.
Dude, who do you think it was? Do you think it was Angry Video Game Nerd who like popularized the exposure of the shitty game?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this lately. Like I think people hold the AVGN in huge regard and respect, but I think even still, his effect on just like the video making landscape is still understated. Like people don't even give him enough credit for just how much.
Oh, for sure.
Because everyone knows that the early YouTube was flooded with AVGN clones, but then like people were like imitating the clones of the clones and stuff, and like I don't know, like the entire gaming landscape basically grew out of that one channel.
And yeah, I mean, just the idea of like, I think similar to like shitty movies and like Mystery Science Theater 3000, it was like, hey, we all have this collective memory of these shitty games, and like we grew up playing them and we fucking hate all of them, and they're bad and they're stupid, and I fucking hated playing this. And then you go and watch a video of someone playing that and you're like, I kind of have like a nostalgia for this. I don't know why. It's like I kind of like how bad it was.
There's a weird emotional catharsis to like watching someone else struggle with the same weird shitty problems.
Right,
and, like, you know, especially like those old NES games, because if those ones were like, you know, a lot of people had memories of those and they were just holding on to them for like years, and like
makes me want to eat diarrhea out of a buffalo's ass.
Yeah, and that just being incredibly vulgar, and that automatically equals humor. Again, I love those old videos, I'm not shitting on them, but it was just such a quaint but wonderful time on YouTube.
Well, speaking of diarrhea, my 2 minutes of hate this week, and I gotta pull a little of this up. I keep trying not to like dwell on some of this shit, but it is one of those things where I do feel the time sensitivity of a lot of things that we talk about, and it's like I always have to circle back around, because it's like just the other week, you know, not last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Tucker Carlson, and we're making fun of him because he wants to have he listened to that Marcy's Playground. He listened to too much Marcy's Playground, and he wants sex and candy together at the same time. He wants to have sex with candy, folks, and we're all giggling. You know, we're all laughing. We're all laughing at stupid Tucker Carlson that is turned off by the fact that the green M&M was wearing stilettos, but that now she's wearing...
Now she has a block heel.
Now she's wearing a block heel. The fact that he could tell the difference.
Yeah.
When we spent 20 minutes staring at their feet and just going, I don't know, this one looks like it's a smaller shoe than this one. I really can't tell you.
I can see him making that face, that dumbfounded face. Just like, you can't believe they changed the shoes. It's so funny because they tweeted out that image like, we're doing a redesign of the M&Ms. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see them. And someone was like, no, that is the redesign. I was like, what? They look the fucking same, basically. I mean, they just sort of smoothed out some of the finer details. It's like
crazy not to bring it back to Sonic though, but like think about the classic Sonic to modern Sonic. I was expecting that kind of drastic change, you know, but instead,
I'm like looking at what I've been conditioned to expect.
I'm like adjusting my contact lenses on my eyeballs. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like
it was so inconsequential. If they didn't announce it, nobody would have said anything, and then people would be holding this up as some epic culture war bullshit.
Yeah, perfect.
They're taking it too far. Perfect. It's like, who cares? This is such like there's always stupid bullshit like in the discourse that people are talking about, but somehow like that in particular, like seeing that kind of shit on like the mainstream media, it's just like, what the fuck is even happening anymore? Like, why is this on the news? This is so stupid.
This is the perfect segue, because not only are you absolutely like 1,000% correct, nobody would be talking about this if they didn't make it a story, and people wouldn't still be talking about it if people weren't reacting to the story. And to a certain level, I feel like we have a certain culpability with our 6 listeners to talk about some of the things that are happening online. And sometimes you don't get the full story about things. But crux of the matter is, the only reason anybody talked about this is because Eminem said, hey, we have more diverse M&Ms. You guys love the guys with the faces and the arms and the legs. One of them's in a wheelchair now. You like that? And everyone's like, no. Why do we care?
Wait, is there really one in the wheelchair?
No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say.
But here's why we care, and I'm screen sharing this article. It's because Mars, the company that owns M&M, has been doing a little bit of child slavery lately.
Grant, I'm sorry.
A small little bit of child slavery they've been doing in a couple different countries. And some of these child slaves have said, oh, hey, we're child slaves that are making the chocolate that you eat. And the whole shit of we're pushing for diversity because we want everybody to feel more accepted and more, the sexy candy, that's not our image anymore. We're going for more thoughtful, girl boss type M&M characters and more sensitive male characters. And it's like, you have child slaves.
Grant, perhaps you missed the orange M&M suffers from anxiety, just like you guys, right?
He's taking his medication. Like you all should, and he's doing talk therapy. But do you know who's not getting talk therapy? The children that are slaves. So that's I guess my 2 minutes of hate this week is child slavery.
Kind of made us look like
I'm going to take a little bit of a hot take.
Everybody's an asshole, man.
I'll admit that child slavery is a bit worse than Wordle, okay? I'll give you that one.
I mean, a little bit, all right? Just a little bit.
You're absolutely right. It is all just distraction bullshit to keep you from talking about the real issues. It's insane that that is a real, actual article about the shit we're talking about is the most inconsequential. It's absurd that these companies can even be doing something that heinous. They just get away with it. Chocolate company, for fuck's sake. How is it even possible? But seriously, it's insane the shit that Nestle will get into. It's crazy and denying people water and stuff and being like, that's not a basic human right. It's crazy. It's insane.
We're made of water.
If not water, then what?
Life isn't, or that's the next step is life isn't right. They'd be
selling us the air we breathe if they could get away with it, and they'll find a way. Don't worry.
The air is inclusive now, folks. The girl boss air.
I get it. I dislike Tucker Carlson's face as much as everybody else dislikes it. I think it's weird how he looks at everybody that's on his show as if they're eating a big tub of mayo. I've seen the memes. I've read all that there is to read. I know everything that there is to know about him. I've seen the video of Jon Stewart getting his show on CNN canceled. We've all seen all of it. It's all in my head. I'm fine and good with it. But it's the fact of the matter is we're all talking about the fact that the green M&M switched from stilettos to block heels when M&M's is being created by child slaves and nobody's talking about it. And it's I don't want this show to be the show where we talk about child slavery, but I also don't want to be culpable in the whole mix up of people's values that people think that memeing about Tucker Carlson is some level of fucking praxis when it's not.
Hecking praxis.
People definitely are if I point out that there's this weird injustice in the world, then I've done my part. But it's if you're not going to do anything about it, then
I'm going to tweet about it. I'm going to tweet about Tucker Carlson. Oh, he's in. Look, everybody, this is so silly. He's in bed with the M&M. Oh.
It's so much easier to engage with the stupid M&M story than the child slavery story. So part of me gets it, but it is just when you lay it out like that, it's just insane. There's no way.
I mean, I'll tell you why, because it's easier to make that funny than child slavery. I haven't really found a way to make child slavery funny.
I think I did a pretty good. That was a good bait and switch, I think.
Okay, I'll give you that.
The contrast, the juxtaposition between the things people are talking about versus what's like actually happening is,
right.
I mean, I know it's like always been fucked, but like this one in particular, this stupid fucking Eminem one in particular is just really pushing the boundaries of asinine shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your punishment? Solve child slavery right now.
Okay, no, I'm not.
No, you put the pressure on.
No. Because I thought of a punishment that was very inappropriate, and I won't be. It's just
go with your gut. Go with your gut.
I will not go with my gut. That's how bad things happen. Fuck. No, I can't. Can someone else do it? Because now I'm getting.
It was that bad, huh?
I have a brain worm.
You can't even think.
I don't want to think about it.
Okay,
I have a brain worm. Somebody else has to do it.
Yeah. I'll say. You know, we mentioned the Eminem redesigns. I think that they should, in a true apology, give us a true redesign and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, we did a little bit of child slavery. Our bad. We'll do better. Do better." They released like a Notes app, Twitter apology.
Okay.
And then we get a true redesign of the M&Ms.
Dude, I would love to see the Sonic Adventure style M&Ms, dude. That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah. I'm the red M&Ms doing that like Sonic Adventure
they
pose.
They should do that. Yeah. I mean, they'd get more good positive press if they actually did that than whatever the fuck was going on with this like non-redesign like propaganda that they're like, they knew that they were going to get like stupid news articles written about them.
Right.
They were the ones they're like, we're unsexifying the green M&M. Like it was such like, I don't want to say it's a bait, but it was kind of like bait. And, you know, I don't even blame people for taking it. Like we just said, it was it's too easy. It's too obvious and absurd to not joke about.
Yeah. I was waiting for like this.
Right. Exactly. And like, of course, like the worst part is like, I'm losing my train of thought.
It was that bad, huh? Like was that the worst thought you've ever had in your life?
It's funny. I had a pretty bad first gut thought. My gut instinct was like, we should just give the child slaves adult slaves, and then they would be able to subsidize the labor.
I was going to say
the adult slaves should be Nestle executives. Okay, I'm just saying. Just saying.
I mean, you know, it is a solution, and we don't have a solution. But speaking of solutions, let's move on to the meat and potatoes of the show. If you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, and then we sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and quite often unusual punishment. Speaking of things that are useless and don't really matter and are for some reason a part of the culture war.
I'm so glad that we finally got to this because we had sort of talked about this.
Exactly why I wanted to jump into this one first. So we'll share this on the screen here. This was actually I can't remember if I brought this in as a 2 minutes of hate at one point or if I don't remember how it came up,
the context. We were like whatever the guest was on.
I'll preface it. I'll say that at one point in time we had a discussion on an episode about white people who like go out of their way to use like the white emojis.
Oh, versus, right. I saw this. Yeah. There's like an article about this today.
Yeah. So like someone has to like, they have to like go to like the thumbs up emoji.
It feels
hold
more
it down,
racist to do it that way, dude. It's like, I'm moving out of my way to be white. Whereas the article was like, it's more racist to use the yellow one because you're treating whiteness like
so the NPR article here says, some white people may choose the Simpsons thumbs up emoji
the yellow one
because it feels neutral, but some academics argue that opting out of the white skin thumbs up emoji signals a lack of awareness about white privilege akin to society associating whiteness with being raceless.
I
have the solution already figured out. When you buy your phone, they take a picture of your skin. That's the only color you're allowed to use for your emojis. Yeah.
Honestly,
at this point I got nothing else better.
I think that's the only solution.
They might as well just do that at this point to avoid the hassle of this shit.
Because like it's like before, like to be quite honest, I could kind of understand the argument where it was like. When people were like, admittedly, it was a little bit silly, but it was like, you go, I don't know. So I forget exactly how I phrased it last time, but talking about going out of your way to pick the white emoji felt a little weird.
It feels deliberate.
It feels weird, dude. You're completely right. I don't see people use the white thumbs up.
But I guess that's bad, though. I guess you're fucked either way now. That's what I'm like confused about.
I really feel like this is a lose-lose scenario. I feel like you use the white thumbs up. People are going to be like, why is he going out of his way to use the white one? And then, now there's going to be people who are going to be looking at you. Here's the solution. Just don't ever use any emoji that can be color tinted if you don't want to get in trouble.
Using emojis. Let's go back to like emoticons.
I agree, dude. Let's go back to the
semicolon and the parenthesis.
Yeah, the hieroglyphics of the early internet where it was just these weird faces, like the XDs and everything. It was a simpler time. I'm not even full boomer about it. Like, there's some fucking funny emojis, but it's
like,
just weird to me that might be part of Unicode now.
It seems like this might just be, we do have to go back. We have to go to the...
We have to go back.
We have to... You know what's so funny is we keep referencing that, and then every so often I forget where it's from. It took a throwaway line from Ready Player One, which is like already a bad movie, but there's that really dumb point in the movie where...
He keeps losing the one race that nobody's ever beaten, and then he goes.
The trick is you have to go backwards.
Yeah, you have to go backwards,
and
which is
the
like
cryptic
nobody
message
thought
was
of
the
it.
professor in the flashback going, "We have to go back." And now this is like a reference that like I don't think we've ever explained on the show, not one time, but and I
say it all the time.
We've been quoting it for literally years
yeah.
on the show, going, "We have to go back." Anytime someone says the word "back." So there's the context, I guess. I don't know if that makes it funny or not, but
the deep lore has finally been revealed. It's so funny. I know exactly what you mean. Like you'll just like hear like one random line delivery in a movie, and you'll like latch onto it. Like why? I don't know why, but yeah, it'll just crack you up. It's just a funny thing.
Fucking stupid. But like the thing is, we were talking about something stupid in the Discord. And I had this like revelatory moment where it's like, I understand the purpose. I understand the points that this person is making, but their solution is not what I'm interested in. It's showing the work. Like, do you remember like in math class, if you had like a good math teacher, they would say, I want to see your work. I don't care about your solution. Your solution can be right or wrong. I'm not grading you on the solution. I want to see your thought process behind how you came to the solution.
They want to make sure you didn't use a calculator, the thing that we all have on our phones with us 24/7.
Right.
We would never be able
to. That's so funny. All the teachers
like,
growing up, they're like, you're not going to have access to a calculator all in the course.
Yeah, it's not going to be in your pocket.
You fucking dead idiot.
And so
it's just so weird to think about. Okay, so not to get sidetracked, but it's so weird to think of like we have like a hitchhiker's guide in our pocket. Like you want to know anything about anything, you just whip out your phone, pull up Wikipedia, but we're still treating school like it's the 1920s. Right. There's an app for that. All right, sorry, go ahead.
But that's like my issue that I see with this is that like I don't like necessarily disagree or agree with like it's like I just want to see your work because I understand associating whiteness with being raceless is like sure fine I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I get
no,
that.
You're absolutely right. There's a kernel of truth to this, which is why you can't just completely just dismiss it and ignore it. But it's like it's just I just can't see the solution being just use the white thumbs up. Like that does not feel
because
like that's the right
reminds
answer
me
here.
of like it reminds me of like billboard or like posters people put around college campuses to like piss people off that says that like it's okay to be white, and it's like I don't want to be like that fucking person that it's like I'm using the white thumb emoji because it's okay.
I feel like
to
those
be white,
are probably
the
most use out of the white thumbs up is from like those guys.
Nobody wants to be associated with it.
If I may quote Kanye West on the matter, he said, "I leave my emojis Bart Simpson color."
That's the way
Why don't
to do
we all
it.
just do that?
There's a kernel of truth to this, what they're saying, but like you should never be like, why didn't you race tint your thumbs up, bro? People need to just accept the Simpsons color as the default and not have an issue about it.
Right.
If you want to have an issue, if you want to have a discussion about like treating whiteness as akin to racelessness, Maybe don't frame it around fucking emojis. I don't know.
It's stupid. And like one thing that I always forget is that there used to be like really racist emojis. Like when we first got emojis on our phone, do you remember like the little like Asian caricature with the Fu Manchu or like the little Muslim guy with the turban? And you're just like, I don't know if this is good. And then finally they were like, oh, oops. And it's like
and now we got the green squirt gun. You got what you wanted, people.
I can't believe they neuter the gun. Like I kind of get it, but like guns are a thing that exists, and like a squirt gun is just a different thing.
It turned into a symbol.
I love the aesthetic of a
message
squirt gun. Don't get me wrong, but like we should have had a gun and a squirt gun emoji.
Yeah, why not both?
That became our bat signal.
That's just that's just another weird thing to think about. Like an emoji, you can just change. Like maybe 100 years from now, all these emojis will be different. Well, they won't all be different, obviously, but like, just weird to think like you could have put some hard ass tweet with some guns in it, and then now people could look at it and see a bunch of squirt guns. It would look silly,
right? Or just like the idea that it's like if you're going through like the smiley face emojis, it's like there's no white or black smiley faces. It's like I'm just picking like the fucking.
Can you imagine if you had to like
one.
tint every one of those yellow smiley faces to be like the right skin tone? It would look horrible. Yeah, they're like designed to be yellow, so it's like I don't know, man.
It's supposed to be like universal, right? Like to a certain extent. And I guess that there's like an aspect to it that is like inherently not, but it's like the idea to like just constantly, I think it's good to question these types of things and to sort of like scrutinize your own use of them. But like this weird accusatory language of like, if you use the yellow emoji, it's just like, because we're doing it on purpose because we don't want to get grouped in with the bad people.
It makes me want to go bye-bye, not doing...
I was just saying, my knee-jerk reaction is to be like, we need to get rid of race in these emojis entirely, but then it's like, that's not really the solution either, because like, I don't know, I know there's plenty of like black artists I've seen use the black emojis, and they like, it's good to have that kind of representation, but like, and then you can't just have the black ones, but then now they're complaining that not enough people are using the white ones.
Though, you know? Everybody's got their choice.
Yeah.
I think Kanye is perfectly summarized it, and if you have a problem with his take, I don't know what to say.
Take it up with him.
Kanye has some good takes sometimes.
Every once in a while.
At
least about emojis and like Akira and stuff.
Yeah.
He said one time, hey, how come my 10-year-old daughter is on TikTok? And I was like, he's right. I can't argue with him. I have no dog in the game, but
what do you want to talk about next year, Grant?
Speaking of dogs and games, this is a pretty good like follow-up to a story we did sort of a while ago, back in August. If you want to delve into this.
Yeah, let's do that one.
So to pick up where we last left off, last episode on Thought Cops, we had talked a number of months ago about Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell. I don't know if you're savvy to this at all, Cybershell, but they were talking about the fact that they don't like to bathe their children.
Oh, yeah. Didn't we talk about this?
I vaguely remember hearing this weird celebrity bullshit where there was some like weird anti-bathing propaganda going around. Like, I don't even know what the fuck I didn't know what to make of that. I was like, this is just what happens when you're like a millionaire in Hollywood. You just stop washing yourself.
Yeah, this was a big thing last summer. Like people like celebrities in Hollywood were like coming out and saying like, we don't clean ourselves anymore.
Yeah, it was like Jake Gyllenhaal, and then The Rock was like, I take 18 showers a day. And it's like, okay,
LA is in a drought right now with The Rock.
Yeah.
You know, let's not go too far.
He's using up all of LA's water. And so they're filthy, disgusting people that don't shower. And we're like, well, whatever. It's not the big of a deal. But it just turns out that they're just like disgusting people because they keep talking about this shit. And I'm trying to pull up this BuzzFeed article, but there's more to the story.
Like you wouldn't want to talk about this, right? Like it feels like they should know that it would sound weird at the very least, even if like there are like health benefits or whatever the fuck they're doing it for. Like I'm not even saying that it's like I don't even know enough to say that they're wrong to do it. It just sounds insane when they say it like that.
And so I got this article that I'm pulling up right here. Computer's running a little slow, but that's fine. At least it's not metaverse speed.
Yeah.
Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard reveal that their whole family sleeps in the same bedroom, but they're so gassy that they didn't realize that there was a rotting smell coming from their mattress pad.
Wait, hold up. I saw this on Twitter today, like a screenshot of it. I thought it was a joke.
No, this is real.
I'm like, that's funny.
That's fucking
probably a parody.
Article title is insane. That sounds like something that would be on The Onion.
So this is on BuzzFeed, which doesn't necessarily lend itself well to any level of credibility. But this is...
I mean, they've been low-hanging fruit for like forever.
And it's just
True.
like, stop talking about this stuff. You know?
Yeah, this is weird. I
hate how BuzzFeed like fucking does these articles. It's just
why you gotta
this
mention...
like? Oh yeah, I hate this article layout of like.
Yeah, what the fuck is all this
one sentence
shit?
Instagram picture, one sentence Instagram picture. I don't even know, or like it's not even Instagram. There's like GIF like reactions.
Oh,
Fuck, this is insane. But it is insane how it's like we're like these celebrities have a very private life. They recently talked about how they don't bathe. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So he found a rotting protein shake in his like bed sheets.
Better than a body?
I guess. His children, they all sleep in the same bed, and they all are just constantly shitting their pants. And
what the fuck is this shit? What are they waiting for the golden ticket to Willy Wonka's factory? They're all sleeping in the same bed. Can they not afford a bigger fucking house and a bigger bed? More than one bed, maybe?
They can't afford a shower. Like, this is how the other half lives.
There should never be a situation in your life where you have an article like this written about you, even if you're a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't care how successful I get. I don't want to ever have, like, his house smelled like stinky poo-poo, and it was all because he doesn't wash his fucking ass and balls. And, like, that would be, like, the BuzzFeed headline, and people would see it and think it's fake and be like, oh, no, that's news.
That's just what you have to accept now. The celebrities are just in their own bubble. They're in their own world away from us, and we can never. They're just so far beyond our reach as mere mortals.
In a weird way, I kind of respect the fuck it attitude.
I think right. It's a trend. I mean,
they're so.
And I don't. Go ahead.
You know what? Go ahead. Call me.
They're all so rich they can do anything they want for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean?
It's like
cosplaying more power to them in that respect.
It's like cosplaying poverty because it's like, poor people, like, they smell bad. So I mean, like I said,
they're acting like they're the fucking old people in Willy Wonka, all sleeping in the same bed. They don't have to do that.
But I think the thing that I'm sort of like starting to conceptualize here, and I don't know the end goal of any of this, but I see where it's going, and I'm not sure where that's going to take us. But there has been a trend of like this weird shit. And like to juxtapose this from like, you know, a decade or two prior, it's like we all watched Britney Spears have a meltdown and shave her head and all this stuff and everything that sort of led to like her conservatorship that we're all sort of more now keen and savvy to. And we've all seen how like paparazzi just sort of like ruin the lives of famous people, and it's like, oh, they're rich, they have this like shield of like money and we can just do whatever to them. And it's like that sort of got Princess Diana killed. And there's like this whole like shift from that culture to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith constantly talking about their sex lives to the point where it's like, we don't need to know any more of this. We don't need to know how many times she cheated on him and the fact that he like was such a sex addict that he would vomit when he ejaculated. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody needs to know it. And they can't fucking stop. And Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell can't fucking stop not showering and shitting in their bed and leaving protein shakes at the foot of their bed and not even realizing it because the whole fucking house smells so terrible. And it's just like, this is the new era. All these fucking people, they got the wrong message from John Lennon laying in bed all day protesting war or whatever the fuck he was doing, and they're like, let's all just be lazy fucking slobs. This is what John Lennon wanted. And now they're all singing Imagine.
I have no idea. This absolutely ties into the Imagine thing. I have no idea if this is entirely contributed to COVID, but like celebrities have gone insane. They're not getting the amount of attention that they're used to getting, and they are not.
People don't like them as much anymore.
They are going on making weird statements to the media, and like they need their Twitter trending things because there's not enough projects going around. I don't know what it is, dude. I don't want to pretend like I have some deep insight on this weird Hollywood world, but yeah, the weirdness factor has considerably ramped up lately. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I mean, that's the world we're living in. It's, if anything, it's just endemic of like everything around us, but they sure ain't helping, But I don't know if we just want to move on to Key to the City.
Here's a punishment. We take the fire hose out and just hose them down until they do it their goddamn selves.
Yeah.
How about
or
that?
take a dip in the ocean or whatever,
response.
Yeah. Just fucking get a little wet. Never hurt anybody.
Let's do some Key to the
let's
City
move on
here.
though to the positive part of the show. The chaser after the stinky,
shot him malort.
The stinky malort.
No, it's good. It's good to do the key after the 2 minutes because you gotta have like a little something a positive note to follow up that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm actually going to give my Key to the City to somebody who's already gotten it before. What? Huh? Can you do that?
Somebody's getting it again.
Yeah. I am giving my Key to the City again to Arlo on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
The puppet
Are
guy?
you familiar with Arlo Cybershell?
Yeah, he's a Nintendo tuber, right? The blue puppet.
Yes. So I started writing for Hard Drive last year, and ever since I started, I've been trying to get an article about Arlo published because I know he's a big fan of the website. I'm a big fan of his channel. I've seen him tweet.
Great.
He's like, "Hey guys, make fun of me. I'm an easy target." And I've been like pitching multiple headlines about Arlo. And I'm like, I just want to throw one out there. So I finally got one out. Grant will pull it up here in a second.
I'm looking for it.
I can't remember what the hell I even said.
There's a lot about the Nintendo.
Can't even remember your own
Direct.
damn headline.
I was gonna say I can't remember what the fuck I had for breakfast, as they say.
No, I'm there with you, man. Don't worry.
But yeah, if you Arlo rejected from the Muppets for being a gamer.
I think I saw that. Yeah, no, I love Hard Drive. It's great. It's just it's like the Onion, but for gamers. And it sounds a little dumb to say it like that, but
it's true. But I think
there's been some really fucking good fucking tweets I've seen from Hard Drive. I've enjoyed, and the articles too. Sometimes I actually click them, and I'm like,
hey, we put a lot of work
in there.
We put a lot of work into the articles. Which people should click on more.
I love this. They're good. It's good stuff.
This tweet here that's
really funny that he responded to it.
When you're scrolling through your news feed and you see
this was funny because I didn't even know it was published yet.
Right.
And this is how I found out. And then I'm like,
that's how you found out about it? That tweet?
And
that's great.
I'm like, no fucking way. And then I think I just responded something like, you're welcome to it. And he sent a gif of Ben Stiller back to me. But it was still it was cool because it's also like, I interact with a lot of people in the kind of same bubble or sphere of like typically comedy related stuff.
Right.
And this is somebody who's like outside of that completely. And I'm like, I watch a lot of his videos and stuff. So I was like I'm sure he'll see it, but like to the point where it seemed like he was very happy. And like that post like blew the fuck up on Twitter as well. And it was just
great.
And honestly, one of the best parts of like writing the articles is a couple things. Number one, seeing people in their replies, like, screenshotting or quoting like stuff you wrote. Oh, this is very funny, really strokes my ego off. But also seeing the people being like, wait a second, this isn't like, I forgot there was one article I had recently.
Is this supposed to be satire?
There are always people like that who won't get it. Like there's always
it doesn't matter what
1% of people. It does not matter how obvious the satire is. There will always be some fucking people out there who just don't like. I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with their brains. It's always great to watch them make that realization, though, for sure.
Do you think at some point that some people are just like cosplaying stupid just to like get you to react to the fact?
Honestly,
some people must.
Some people make
there are really
some
people
have
though.
to.
Some of the people I see like really
don't
going
underestimate it.
Stuff.
People can be
like
dumb.
I wouldn't. No.
Like I forgot there was like one I put up that was like so obviously absurd, and like there was a couple people in the replies.
I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember.
I wish I could remember. I think
was it the
been
Neil deGrasse Tyson one?
Yes, that was it. Because like people are like, because it was like Neil deGrasse Tyson says vegetables can't talk. Also, God isn't real.
Yeah.
And then like, I swear to God, there was like someone, and I had to go to their Twitter profile just to like double check and make sure if they were like this stupid, and I confirmed that they were. But
they're not following Sam Hyde or anything like that.
They were saying
giveaway.
They were saying like how could they report on this, or what is he like? They were saying, what is he, stupid? Obviously, like, does he not know it's a cartoon? Like, this guy was like, he thought it was a real news website and was like saying, isn't this guy supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet? Shouldn't he know that VeggieTales is a cartoon? And I didn't even have to lift a finger.
I never got tired of like seeing people fall for the Onion articles, so I'm gonna start looking through the comments of Hard Drive.
Unreal,
like
yeah,
tweets,
that's great.
because I gotta see these people, dude.
the replies, the quote tweets, it's a gold mine. But usually, like, somebody will like swoop in and like kind of like take care of them for me. So, and that's also funny to watch too.
Yeah,
so,
you don't have time, you don't have the mental time or energy or bandwidth to go around correcting or like informing all these fucking people. You know,
every once in a while. Every once in a while, there was one I did about like Mario. If Mario was given a gun, he would lack the desire to kill. And I made sure even in the article, I'm like, yes, he was in the game Yoshi's Safari where he shot a fake gun. And I made sure to mention that in the article. And I got so many replies to that who were like, actually, if you played Yoshi's Safari, he shoots a gun. And like, and that was when I would get in the replies. I'm like, read the fucking article. Or I don't know how many times
I had to deal with comments like that on videos where it's like, you watched the video. I said it in the video. Why are you trying to correct me? That's the most annoying thing when people are like trying to correct you. They're trying to, actually, when it's like shit that you already fucking said. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
And they're making themselves look fucking stupid.
I have the perfect response. There's like an NPR article from like a number of years ago that was titled like, people don't read anymore. And of course, the number one response is like, I read all the time. I read 100 books last year. And the story is about how like people just click they read the article headline and people they don't read the actual article.
It's like just a fact. Yeah. Like so 10% or less are clicking that thing.
Copy and paste that and just respond with that and then just have their heads explode. That's what I would do. I won't, but that's what I would do.
But that being said, Arlo, thank you for enjoying my article.
Yeah, that was cool that he posted that little reply tweet. It's always nice to have a positive interaction on Twitter, which is,
He's like, it's one thing, he didn't have to go out of his way to, do the whole thing for it. So I appreciate it. But Cybershell, did you have anything you want to share with the class? Anything positive, refreshing, nice?
Something good that happened this last week that made me happy, that put a smile on my face, you might even say. I don't like to suck too much corporate cock, but I will give my key to Adult Swim for renewing Smiling Friends for season 2.
Hell yes. Nice. Hell yes. I saw that too. That was like, because we recently reviewed season 1 for our Patreon spinoff show. And it was like, I've been following Psychic Pebbles for a while, but I was like very, very impressed by
it's a good show.
The show so far. So, and again, it just was one of those things where it's, it felt like a fresh, new, innovative piece of media that is harder and harder to come by. That's not a reboot or whatever.
Or just like shat out by Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. So it was nice to see. Yeah, they're doing more.
Seeing people talk about it, and it just had this fun energy that wasn't like cynical or like nihilistic. It was just sort of about like they wanted to make you laugh and smile. Like the thesis of the show sort of fits in with the characters' jobs because you can tell it was just about being funny and stuff. And I just liked it. It was always great to like see people like the cameos, just the funny ones like Chills. Even like David Firth. I've loved his animations forever. It was just really cool seeing like these like Newgrounds people finally get a show on Adult Swim and stuff. And I just love seeing people's like reaction to it. And like it seems like everyone I know seems to love the show. I've really seen almost no negative feedback towards it.
Same. And it's on HBO Max now, so it's easier to watch than ever.
Right. Yeah, I was ready to like shill that to like all my normie friends, like because it was this weird thing where I was nervous at first because they aired the whole season in one block, and like I just was afraid that that's the kind of thing they might do if they just wanted to like dump a show out and like they didn't like it and they wanted to get it, But I think that was they specified that was just some bullshit they had to do. It had to all be aired before it could be on streaming, and now that it's on streaming, I thought that's the metric they were going to use to decide if they wanted to pick it up for another season was what are the streaming numbers like. But they like announced
before it even got up there. They renewed it.
It had such a it was all over my damn Twitter timeline. I just don't know how much my Twitter timeline is reflective of like America as a whole.
But we probably see a lot of the same stuff. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, no, I was super happy with that. I just really liked that show, and it's just been interesting. Like I actually made that stupid little. I don't know if you've seen the Look Pim memes going around. Like I actually started that dumb shit with my Tails Gets Trolled thing. So I was like,
that's
that was
right.
Just fun.
Yeah, I remember that.
I really hope someone decided to check out the show because they saw one of those dumb memes. Just so I was like, I did my part. I helped people get interested in the show.
I do. There does have to be some sort of normie crossover. Like I feel like if you watch Rick and Morty, and I know that there's a lot more, like a lot of people fucking watch Rick and Morty. I hate to admit it. A lot of people watch that show. A lot of people are familiar with it. It's like, if you watch that, this is like way better.
To be fair, I remember feeling this exact same way about the beginning of Rick and Morty, so...
I was going to say the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty, when it was actually felt like this fresh new thing and not like we're going to have 100 episodes of Pickle Rick. I don't even want to like go on a whole thing about Rick and Morty or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I got you.
I totally get what you mean. Like that whole Frowning Friends episode felt like a little bit of a piss take on like the nihilism found in Rick and Morty and stuff. Like I don't know. I really like the whole thing, the whole mixed media
nihilism.
aspect.
Yeah.
All the 3D stuff mixed with like that live action and the Halloween one. Oh, it was just such a good treat of a show to watch. I just enjoyed every minute of it.
I know you mentioned like not sucking corporate cock, but for real though, Adult Swim is like giving life to a lot more adventurous content than Netflix is. Like I know we talked about it on our other show, but how most other animated programs now are these like School of Seth MacFarlane ripoffs, like Family Guy.
And it's all like industry people that have always been in the industry that are like just pitching their ideas for the show within
for each
the
other.
industry.
Hey, you want to do a voice in my show? I'll do a voice in your show.
It's like all the same people
shitting it out. Yeah.
It feels there's so many of these adult cartoon animated bullshits that feel like they're designed by committee and they all run for like one season, and then it's just like the most generic, like vulgar, not interesting or creative shit ever. And it's like, yeah, it absolutely feels like they're just churning those out on like Fox and even on like Netflix and stuff. So like there aren't a lot of places like Adult Swim that have that they're interested in like making new surrealist or transgressive or experimental types of, you know, content. Even Adult Swim, which like I said, it has its issues, but they're pretty good.
Have you, really quick though, have you seen the trailer for this cartoon? It's like coming to Comedy Central called Fairview.
I don't think so, unless it's that really, really shitty looking one everyone was talking about a few days ago.
Because
it is that one. The one that looks like it's like
unreal.
It genuinely doesn't look real. Like, it looks unreal. Like I was like, that can't be a real show that people are like.
It looks like those weird like emoji.
I know animation is hard.
Things.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say it looks like a Bitmoji.
Oh, that's exactly it. That never clicked in my head. Yeah.
It literally looks like that. Like, it's not like an exaggeration. If you haven't seen the show, like, it literally looks that bad. It is insane. And again, I'm not an animator. I'm sure it's hard to animate. Success. Fuck.
I'm sure. I know it's hard. I've seen it like firsthand, but it's like, I want the success of Smiling Friends to show, like, because it's like obviously money talks, unfortunately. And like, that's the biggest metric for everything. So I want this to be like I think I mentioned before as well, like, you know, Adventure Time was very fresh and unique and out there for when compared to like the cartoons from the last 10, 15 years before that.
I remember when that came out, and big influence too. Yeah.
And look at all that it spawned and a lot of more adventurous cartoons. So I hope Smiling Friends will do the same for the 2020s.
Well, and it I feel like brings it sort of back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show with like a lot of people who have like a lot of different voices doing like a lot of different things. And it's like, you don't get that from a committee of people that work in the fucking industry. You get that from like, I'm not joking. You get that from people like Tamers. Like, I swear to God, it's just like they're creating more interesting content. I'm not saying Tamers needs to be.
I'm saying I'm saying I need to get him Adult Swim.
You can say that, but I'm just saying like that's where like you find like weird things in like these weird pockets of the internet, and it's just like how much shit did I see on Newgrounds that was way better than fucking Brickleberry or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you know, like
Paradise PD.
Yeah, it's just like man, like if you bet your money on this stuff, it will do well because nothing else exists like this. Like, I don't think that I've seen anything that quite is like Smiling Friends before. Like, it's weird, it's unique, it's genuinely funny, and it's like by a bunch of talented people, and it's like more of that. Less fucking Chicago Party Ants. I know that Kevin loves that show, but like...
I said I liked it, kind of, and I walked it back a little bit, okay?
whatever.
I think I watched some review that was like, oh, it was better than I was expecting, but it's still
that was
a
Kevin.
fucking show based off some Twitter account.
What's your key to the city, Grant?
My key to the city this week, and I sort of mentioned this a little bit on the Metaverse episode, but I didn't.
Let's never speak of that again.
I didn't fully flesh this out into a key to the city, but my key to the city this week goes to furries.
Wow. Okay.
Furries are saving public libraries across the country right now. There's been a lot of like weird book burnings and like people like closing down and shutting down libraries and like defunding libraries, and like there's the whole thing with like school curriculums are getting changed to not talk about certain things because you don't want your children to learn.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't heard
things.
Too much about this, but I have heard about like books getting banned and like this is like a thing
like
going
mouse.
on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, like mouse.
Yeah.
Like we gotta ban books about the Holocaust because that's a good way to go.
Yeah. And so I guess in the wake of there's like some mayor of Madison is like threatening, like because they have all these books that are about like LGBTQ themes and like all these different things that are on display and stuff like that, and all these people are going, hey, this is unacceptable, and the library goes, we're a library, and people go, oh, take that down, and they go, no. And then so the mayor's going like, hey, well, we're going to defund you if you don't like take some of this stuff down. We don't think it's appropriate. And the library goes, we're a library. I don't know what you're talking. There's no appropriate or not appropriate. It's a library. And so the furries.
I love that. This is actually the headline on Yahoo Finance. Furries raise money for libraries after mayor threatens to withhold funds due to LGBTQ
Listen,
plus books.
they got the whole wolf pack together, and they're doing a lot of good right now. And it's easy to shit on these people because some of them are weird. They're weirdos.
We went to FurFest once.
We
just
like
to check
laugh
it out.
at them, and we look at their weird culture, and we go, "This is unfamiliar to me, and it makes me feel uncomfortable." But they're doing good, and I think that should be applauded in today's world.
Do you guys think it's interesting that? Again, I mentioned like that is the verbatim headline on Yahoo News.
Yeah.
It is interesting that like they don't have to explain like what a furry is or be like animal mascot enthusiasts. You know, they just like people know furries are.
Yeah.
And then we all go.
Funny to think.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so funny to even mention because I wouldn't have even put that together. But you're right. Go find an article like this from like 2005, and it'd be like a furry is someone who likes,
or even like 2016.
Right.
Yeah, even something. Yeah, even probably 2016 or something. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. You know, as a Sonic fan, I've certainly been around furries. So I know I'm aware that there are very cool and base furries, and there are some very cringe and I don't want to be around them furries. They're just like any group of people like us. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that's really cool of them. Honestly, I don't even understand on what grounds they're like, I'm gonna withhold funding because I just don't like these books. Like
because like
gay.
there's
gay books, I don't like them, but I'm not gonna give you money. It's so weird. That can even
literally.
Be a thing.
Yeah, literally that's it. I wish that there was a better explanation. There's not. That's
just what can happen in these like small towns, you know, like they have control over the budget and stuff. I don't know. It's weird to think about.
And it's also like, does the internet not exist? We can find anything we want on there.
Right.
You know?
And
like what kids are going to the library anyway?
I know so many people that have kids that just go like, here's your tablet, shut the fuck up. And it's like, what the fuck do you think that they're doing on the tablet?
It is wild to me. People will just give their kids a tablet, throw them on YouTube, and just say go nuts. Like, do you even understand what's on YouTube? Even on YouTube Kids, like YouTube Kids is almost worse. It's like
Spider-Man
I think they fixed all that Spider-Man Elsa shit. I think they fixed that. I don't use YouTube Kids, so I wouldn't know. But it's just crazy. You can find any fucking thing on the internet. You like shouldn't even be allowed on the goddamn internet until you're 18. I don't even know.
I agree.
I'm a hypocrite because I've been using it since way younger than that.
Same.
It's destroyed our brains.
It's weird,
really.
man.
And here we are.
It affects your mind. I don't know. It's I used it, so I don't want to be a hypocrite about it. But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Let us all be living cautionary tales to the next generation. But,
it's over internet.
Let's move on to the educational portion of the show. Thought Cop's word of the week. This week, no, I learned this. What this word was from Twitter,
from an unbelievable source.
So I told you that 2 Minutes of Hate was going to come back at the end of the episode.
Oh, and this is good that I brought this example up because this ties into my key to the city too. Which I guess I'll go ahead and I'll pull this tweet up so that everyone can see the interaction. Of all people we talked about this episode, Ariel Pink tweets, leftists are banning their own books and blaming Republicans. Fascinating tweet.
Hey, shut up and make music.
So
shut up and dribble. Get it?
So I'm thinking about Kevin over here, and he's all down about He's all down about his tweet not doing well.
My flop. Yeah.
His flop tweet where it's the Republican vampire and he says Ariel Pink. And it got not a lot of attention. So I went...
Still not a lot, but...
I went Control-C, Control-V, and I put it there and I just hit enter. Kevin saw that I did it and said, so fucking true. I liked that tweet. Ariel Pink himself.
he responded to this?
He responds. Yeah. Dude, he responds to a lot more than I would think.
Dems are sadistic. What the fuck?
I don't know.
That is what it take to have, to reply to that.
Because we also weren't really coming at it from any... We just posted a clip of a character who calls himself the Republican vampire. And I said,
when you're a big account, when you're a big verified checkmark account, you just need to accept that tons of people are going to reply to tons of shit to every one of your tweets. You don't need to get in the mud with them and start arguing or whatever. That is so weird to think that.
He also only has 10,000 followers for a check mark, which I feel like is a low
That's what
threshold,
I was thinking too.
But
yeah, I guess it is a little low for a check mark, huh? It's so weird. There's no hard and steady rule. Sometimes you'll see a check mark with 1,000. I don't know. I don't know.
And so he says, nah, Dems are sadistic. And so I respond with a very meaningful, here, I'll play the audio from this. This is once again from Mission Hill. It's where what's the younger brother's name?
Kevin. Hey, that's my name.
Kevin just moves to Mission Hill and he's like, oh, this place is sort of nice. This is kind of cool. And then this random guy walks off the street and says this to him.
Penis.
And then he walks away.
Classic.
So I just responded. He said, Dems are sadistic. And I just said, penis.
That's a very good reply. I'll give you that.
And so his response was, stop tune bombing. So the Thought Cop's word of the week is tune bombing. It's when you keep responding to tweets with cartoons.
I never heard that before, but I'm glad that I learned it. I'm glad that's a new word in my repertoire.
It's weird because he seems like he's kind of being playful about it. I think it's just you
can tell he's not mad, but it's just funny. Why did he feel the need to reply that? I don't understand.
I don't know.
It's funny.
I just can't imagine if I was going off on some sort of political tirade that if someone posted a Mission Hill tweet that I would be interacting with it this much.
I mean, the phrase may become more ubiquitous in our society because I feel like this is something I've noticed more and more. Every single event or thing, there is a Simpsons meme for it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You can tell you can turn anything into a Simpson meme and that's an instant win for me. And it seems I don't know, it just seems like it's funnier maybe because I like the classic Simpsons episodes, but I guess one could say that if you respond to somebody with a Simpsons meme or even God help you a SpongeBob meme,
right.
That's tune bombing.
Well, it also seems like it's carpet bombing, which is repeated bombs over and over and over.
He could have waited to say more than two examples. If maybe we were all piling on.
But I mean, it makes sense. It's repeated tweeting of a cartoon. So tune bombing. There you go.
But is that a thing that happens to him frequently? He's like, no, I'm getting tune bombed again.
Not the cartoons. No. He's like a fucking bad guy in Roger Rabbit.
He's hiding in a bunker.
That is a funny Twitter interaction, I gotta say. I would not have I kind of wasn't that surprised at the first reply, but when he did it again, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I remember like I was
just
like
the penis thing is so like what do you even say to that? Like there's nothing you can say to that. I was not expecting a reply to that.
Like stop responding to me. And
I definitely when I saw my notifications for that, I burst out laughing. I'm like, what?
See, this is where I don't always hate Twitter. I think that it's a garbage pile, but sometimes it's just like, that was
freaking
funny.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah.
The overall, here's how I feel about it. The overall site culture and like attitude and everything is horrible. It's exactly what people say. But like, you do get to control your Twitter feed. Like if you only follow people who are cool, and this doesn't work 100% of the time because, you know, you can see likes and retweets and shit. But like, you know, you can have a good experience on Twitter. Just don't get into a bunch of arguments and stuff. You can tune bomb people. That's fun. Go ahead and do that.
Funny arguments, yeah.
Yeah, just have fun with it. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to. You can just use Twitter however you damn want to.
Life is short, you know?
Some people can't have a good time on Twitter. They only can suck up the negative energy. And then, those kinds of people should stay off Twitter.
You have to watch yourself. You
gotta have fun.
Tweet responsibly. But before our final segment of the show, which is our listener voicemails, Cybershell, if you want to plug everything you got, your YouTube channel, your social media, anywhere people can find your great content.
Yeah, just we can just search Cybershell on YouTube and or Twitter and follow me there. I mean, I don't really have anything super specific I need to shill right now. I guess I just worked on this low tax documentary with my pal Bedhead Bernie. That's over on his channel. So yeah, go give that a check. Check that out if you haven't seen it.
I've been meaning to watch that. I've been meaning to watch that.
It's a little bit of a heavy story. I totally understand it's not everyone's thing, and a lot of people don't like to know about low tax. So I was curious to like who's even going to be interested. But I just felt it was it's an interesting and important piece of internet lore and history.
For sure.
Something Awful is one of those weird websites that has such a ripple effect on the modern internet that most people don't even understand. Like, it's like just things like 4chan is a spin-off of Something Awful.
Yeah, I remember like, I think I put up a tweet years ago that I remember like Low Tax responded to. It was something like, Something Awful is like two modern comedians, like modern internet comedians, is what like Second City was in like the 70s and 80s to like comedians then.
I mean, the king of Twitter himself, fucking Drill. He came from Fuck Yourself and
Drill, Comtown, Chapo Trap House, like your Kickstarter sucks.
Sort of ironic shitposting culture that you can find in certain areas. It was sort of fermented in the bowels of Something Awful.
Yeah, Mega 64 as well.
Yeah, Mega 64. They were some of the earliest promotion ever came from the front page of Something Awful, and like
that's why I knew about that little icon on the DVD.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I have my early season version 1 and 2 DVDs that have the awful video icon. That's absolutely correct.
But yeah, I am curious to check that out. Because like we've interacted with Low Tax, he's been on the show years and
long time,
early on the run. But
at this point,
you know, obviously, like I will say that the whole thing came as like a bit of a shock. But obviously, we'll say watch the documentary, let that speak for itself. But yeah, otherwise, I couldn't recommend your content highly enough. Big fan, got me through. Just one of those things you latch onto that you found during the pandemic, and you're like, something good for a change, something.
I'm glad. I appreciate hearing that. And I'm just glad to hear that, especially the pandemic too. It's so funny. I started working on a batch of videos. Like in 2020, I was like, I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to put out a bunch of stuff on the channel. I really buckled down and started working in like January of 2020, right before fucking COVID hit. And I was like, honestly, I was lucky enough where I could basically roll with it and didn't fuck my plans up too hard. So I just sort of buckled down, tried to use COVID to be productive. Like I don't blame anyone who just has been like stagnant or whatever during COVID, but like I just tried to
it's tough,
get shit done. Yeah, exactly. It's tough, so like I'm not even judging.
I
was already in the mode and the mood to like get shit done, so I just happened to power through that early part of COVID. So yeah,
you know what I think it was? Because I hear a lot of people say the same thing, and like I felt similarly too. Like, I had so many big plans, like right at the beginning of 2020. Then go figure. I think it's like how obviously like everyone like there's like New Year's resolutions. New Year comes around, you want to like fresh start. You know, start of a new decade.
Definitely.
You know, that doesn't happen super often. The 2020, fresh start, the 20s.
It was like
the
this
roaring
big
20s
moment. Dude, I can't even believe, like, people were so, some people were so, like, optimistic about this decade and, like, a few months into it.
Yeah.
All this shit happens. I'm still trying to make the best of it, you know. I've actually been pretty lucky.
It's still early. You know, we got 8 years left.
We can't write it all off yet. It's only 2022.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm hoping we'll have a turnaround at some point here soon.
I need it.
Yeah, I would like for that to happen. I'm humbly asking those who are in charge of those decisions. I know you're listening.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say, if you want to support the show, throw us a few bucks, get some bonus content. You get access to our bonus show, Fire Bros. You can hang out in the live chat here with us. Every week we do the show. Head on over to patreon.com/thoughtcops. I want to give a shout out to our new Patreon this week, Colin. Thank you, Colin. And without further ado, let's listen to some listener voicemails. If you want to give us a call of your own, our phone number is 312-788-7361. If you don't want to call us on the phone, you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com.
I like that you guys have a real phone number. I just got to say, I've seen a lot of other pods only have Google.
It's a Google
send us your
voice.
audio file. Yeah. Still though. That's a real part of the experience. Calling someone on a phone.
It is. Yeah.
Something raw about that. I don't know why.
The old radio days, you know.
Right.
Exactly. It's like podcast.
Yeah. Okay, first time, long time.
I don't even want to go on a whole rant about this, but it's so weird to me that, like, we can't just have, like, audio broadcasts on the internet. They're called podcasts, which, like, feels like that should be like a trademarked thing by Apple or something. Like, where did that come from?
I think that they tried to, because I think Apple coined the term podcast.
It must come from iPodcast, right?
Yeah,
so, like, I don't understand that.
It became like a ubiquitous term, and I think by the time that they like tried to trademark it, it was just like, oh, it's too general, you know.
Like, I haven't listened to a podcast on an iPod in like years.
Right?
There's
no pods anymore. We're not podding. But let's
hear that first voice.
Let's hear these voicemails.
Is that? Could it be? Are they back?
Back again, and it's about time, too.
This is the Discord news to Electric Boogaloo, bringing you all the idiotic things your listeners argued about this week.
A debate about autonomous cars broke out in #outrage, in which KT Shane displayed some amazing debate skills, which was nullified by the fact that he was called out for using them.
In the politics channel, a discussion broke out about what is and isn't socialism. The conclusion was that socialism is when Porsche Taycan.
What?
Despite the release of a new Pokemon game, the soy levels in #GamerAmericans remain relatively low.
Thanks for listening to us.
Thank you guys for leaving a Discord news.
We missed you guys. We're happy to hear from you again.
Was that part of the joke, is that he said socialism and then he just like said a jumbled thing that was
it might have been the accent. I might have missed something.
I didn't understand what he said.
I don't know. I mean,
sorry, Yosef.
Yeah. Well, thank you for Discord news again.
That's good.
You know, always good to hear. We've, like you said, we're keeping our soy levels down. Thank God. We're trying our best. Not always successful at it, but you know.
It is what it is. We'll play another one here.
Let's hear from Leo
right now.
Hello, Thought Cops. Once again, it is I, Leo the Incredible, gracing your voicemail. And happy Thursday to everybody. I hope you've had a wonderful night. But let's cut right to it, shall we? Thought crimes, gentlemen, they exist. We know this, and I'm reporting one. And this one's an odd one. I was reading up on... I can't even say this. I was reading up on this, and it turns out, brace yourselves, it turns out the U.S. government is funding crack pipes. That's not the thought crime. The thought crime is the fact-checking that I was following up on. And I thought, there's no way. It couldn't be. We can't be directly funding this. So I went to Snopes, or one of those fact-checking sites. It's like when somebody tells you yes, but they mean no, and they kind of wink at the end. They're like, yeah, and they wink. And they went out of their way to describe, like, Listen, no, it's not funding crack pipes. It's funding drug kits. Now, whether or not crack pipes end up in there, well, who's to say? I mean,
may not drop one or two in there.
I think you would put a crack pipe in a drug kit, but we're going to label it mostly false. What the fuck? It's a thought crime, gentlemen. It's saying yes when you mean no, and saying no when you mean yes. I can't keep it straight.
Get over yourself.
He's starting to lose it. I never heard Leo become so unhinged before.
I haven't either. He's been taking a voice acting class, and it's just gotten to his head. He's lost his voice.
He's big time.
I gotta say, it's pretty rude to be putting a drug kit out with a crack pipe, but no crack. Just the pipe.
Well, for real, it's like a toy with no batteries.
I was gonna say, the U.S. government has gone from funding the crack epidemic to
now
funding
just the pipes.
Crack pipes.
What a broke ass government.
We're making progressive leaps and bounds forward. I have read
this is progress in the right direction. You're right.
Less crack sprinkled on dead victims from the FBI. More progressive help towards. I haven't looked into any of this. I don't know anything about this.
I'm finding out right now.
I know certain countries do that where they'll like supply like heroin addicts with like needles and shit like that. Yeah, because it's better than
that
getting.
Makes sense, right?
It's better than getting one out of the gutter and getting AIDS from it, sort of thing. You know, so it's like
somehow I think the reason people. I think these people might get mad about hearing that too, but like somehow it's like a needle, like a hypodermic needle is like a medical instrument, but like a crack pipe is a fucking crack pipe. Like it's just a crack pipe. You know what I mean? It looks worse, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm ambivalent. I don't know enough about this to be like, oh, I have really strong feelings. Like if there's a lot of proof that like doing this makes less death and stuff. I think it's bad.
I would like to see that more. I would like for it to be treated more like it's a drug problem. Leo is in the chat right now. He says the thought crime was the fact checking.
Yeah, I was gonna say Snopes should just be honest about it. Like, there's no like. I guess it's that, and maybe they think it's embarrassing to admit it. But like, if you're doing it, just say that. Like, yeah, it's good to put crack pipes in here and give them to people. Like,
they're acting like it's Burger King, where if there's like an onion ring that ends up in your fries, it's like
sometimes you get a crack pipe. I don't know.
Yeah, don't be coy about it. Just explain clearly why. And
I mean, I guess.
And if you're not willing to admit that you're doing it, then don't do it. I don't know. It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
I haven't read Snopes since like 2012 when I found out that Snopes was a thing. So I don't know if they did or not. But just like, I also feel like the whole thing of like, oh, we rate this story 4 Pinocchios. It's like just write an article and explain what it is. I don't need Pinocchios. I don't need the little meter thing. Just tell me if like give me an argument, not just like give me a number like 1 through 10. Like we rate this a 7. It's just like just say.
What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah. Oh, it's a 7, and then someone goes, actually, I think it's a 6, and then somebody else goes, no, it's a 10. It should have been a 10. I hate fact checking shit. It's stupid.
Snopes or freaking IGN?
Who fact checks the fact checkers? That's what I want to know.
We got one more voicemail here. This is a question for you, Cybershell.
Oh, wow. I'll answer.
Hi, this is a question for Cybershell. I wanted to know if the Sonic characters were in Squid Game, do you think that Eggman would trick Knuckles like he does in the game?
Excellent. Just an excellent game reference there. It's a reference, of course, to Eggman tricking Knuckles in both Sonic 3 and Sonic Adventure.
And apparently in the movie, too, I think.
He seems to find himself in this
you're
situation.
Right. You're absolutely right, dude. It's going to be the plot of Sonic 2, the movie.
Voiced by Idris Elba.
I'm going to be honest, I've spent many, many hours, dozens of hours, contemplating what Squid Games would have been like if instead of Korean people, it was Sonic the Hedgehog character.
I think we all have.
I have come to that conclusion that Knuckles would definitely get tricked by Eggman, who I guess would be the old man character in this version.
I think that would be the analog. Knuckles would be... How would Knuckles be?
I still haven't seen Squid Game yet.
Fucking
okay, no spoilers, but if you've seen it, the guy who asked that question, you know what's up. He knows. Yeah. He knows. He's right. He knows.
I've played Splatoon. Is that the same thing?
That is, dude. That is more or less, my first reaction to Squid Game was to make a Splatoon joke, and then I was like, someone made this probably, and I searched on Twitter, and it's like 1 million people made it already. But it's like,
I only started making the joke after I knew that everyone was tired with the joke.
It's funny. I still think that's funny though. Like Splatoon is literally like the Squid Game. Like that's what are the odds? Yeah, it's super funny.
You play games, you're a squid. I don't know. That's it.
Just happens to be more than one. So Eggman would trick Knuckles. You know, sad to say, Knuckles cute. You know what? I hate to say it, but you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
can't get fooled again.
You can't get fooled again.
That's what George Bush said. Yeah,
it won't get fooled again.
I don't think he's saying it. What?
CSI Miami.
Is that the song?
Yeah, they play. It's Bob O'Reilly. Yeah.
No, I haven't. Is that the?
You know what? The episode was going really well, and then I had to bring up the CSI reference.
You always have to bring up CSI Miami.
Every fucking time. You thought I would learn by now.
I didn't know that that's a lyric in Bob O'Reilly.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. You know what? Let's move on.
I
ruined the episode.
18 minutes of...
And somewhere in there, I'm pretty sure they say that. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they are talking about, what if Knuckles and Eggman were in Squid Game? Great. Anyway, if that inspired you want to give us a call, you have any questions, concerns for us, again, our phone number is 312-788-7361. Or you can always send us an audio file to our email address, which is thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. You can put a little bit of music on there, like the Discord Newsboys. And like I said, you can throw us a few bucks over at patreon.com/thoughtcops if you want to help support the show and get bonus content. Otherwise, we'll say Cybershell, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, lads. It was a good podcast. I gotta say, I've done quite a few podcast appearances, and I can honestly say this was a good one. This is a good.
I'm glad to hear.
Better than Brett Weinstein.
Oh yeah, way better than that.
Cybershell's clearly been on that one before. Yes.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you to everybody who listened. Thank you to all who donated. Thank you to all who called. That's all the thank yous I got left to me.
Thank you.
That's all I got left to me. That's it. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
See you, Space Cop.